Yes, and hello once again. I am Max Ratt, and welcome to the Max Ratt Deconstruction Zone. Yes, so it's July 1st, 2013, and I got another show for you this afternoon, here live from the Rat Hole, New York City. And, last show was about the Mapping the Human Brain Initiative. I told you about how that's just a eugenics program in disguise. Now, so the show that's been, the story that's been all over the news in the last 2 weeks while I've been diligently working away and trying to put this all together for you is this show about the story about the NSA whistleblower, Edward Snowden, and how and I'm going to call this the NSA whistleblower rollout, okay? Because this is a classic media rollout story, meaning that the media rolls out a big fat story where every single station, every single news outlet, every single TV channel, every single whether it's right, left, north, south, up, down, gay, straight, every single political agenda and angle is covered by the lying, outright scripted global news media. And on that note, let's just get the show going, and I'm gonna go through the whole thing for you. I laid it all out once again, and I tried to compact it enough so I can go look at the 1,000 different media outlets and put it all together for you, so you don't have to, and because I'm sure you don't have the time to go through that, and that's frankly the reason why you need to listen to my show, because I understand that people don't have people have wives and kids and families and people and work and things like that, and you don't have the time to go spend 100 hours on a show condensing all the information put out there in the media. So that's what the Deconstruction Zone's here to do for you. I'm Max Ratt. Thanks for coming aboard the show, and let's get it rolling. July 1st, 2013. It's going to be called the NSA Whistleblower Show, the Edward Snowden Snow Job. Let's get it going.
All right, this is my show, and it's a serious intellectual hour of discussion, and I want to keep it that way.
The time has come for America to hear the truth.
My name's Ed Snowden. I'm 29 years old. I work for Booz Allen Hamilton as an infrastructure analyst for NSA in Hawaii.
Yeah, just to start off, Snowden is 29 years old. He works for a private company, Booz Allen Hamilton, and that does work for the NSA. So there we go again already. The union of government and private business, which is called fascism. We'll just keep it moving from there. But that's right in your face, right off the start of this interview. That the alleged Snowden, who I will tell you is just an actor. There is no real character of this name who had the job of this type at all. This is all a rollout story to manipulate you accordingly, to intimidate whistleblowers, to create false debates about whether or not frankly, whether or not the media should be biased or not, and another false debate on whether he's a hero or a traitor, even though we'll skip over the credibility that he even exists at all, okay, which is another media technique that they'll be using to manipulate you. Let's just keep it going from there. Edward Snowden, working for a private company, 29 years old. Here we go.
My name's Ed Snowden. I'm 29 years old. I work for Booz Allen Hamilton as an infrastructure analyst for NSA in Hawaii.
And when the 12th largest company in the world controls the most awesome goddamn propaganda force in the whole godless world, who knows what shit will be peddled for truth on this network?
And I'm willing to go on the record to defend the authenticity of them and say, I didn't change these. I didn't modify the story. This is the truth. This is what's happening.
all day long when they tell you what to believe, all day long beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy.
Yeah, all day long you're being told what to believe, what to think, okay, what to buy. And Snowden's right off the bat going to tell you, yeah, I'm here to tell you the truth, which of course means he's not, okay, he's here to tell you what to believe and what to think. So keep it going from there. Again, it's a rollout story. It's unbelievable how everybody in the media has the same script and just their own little spins on it, but keep it going.
And I'm willing to go on the record to defend the authenticity of them and say, I didn't change these. I didn't modify the story. This is the truth. This is what's happening.
I didn't change it. I didn't modify the story. This is the truth. I promise. I swear.
All day long when they tell you what to believe, all day long beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy.
Okay, here's Edward Snowden's dad, who was interviewed, who, by the way, doesn't look anything like the guy, but let's just keep it going from here.
I would tell him to be truthful, to be honest.
Right, thanks, man. And no, that's almost implying like he's not, but keep it going from there.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Okay, here's a little clip from this movie called The Informant with Matt Damon, which was kind of a funny movie, and it's about a whistleblower. Here we go.
You realize that this can all be used against you in a court of law. And I'll have to write it all up, and you'll have to sign it.
We're going to find out what's going on, Mark. You're not leaving this room until you tell us what's going on.
So, before you answer any more questions, I want you to think about Ginger and your family and your career.
All right, so here we're starting a brief segment on the intimidation of whistleblowers, and many people are working in jobs where they know that they're kind of quote unquote not doing the right thing, and that will be a little featured segment in the show as well. But and so they are. So this part of this, one of the agendas in the story is to intimidate all kinds of whistleblowers and tell you just take your paycheck and shut up.
I know what he walked away from. I know how he feels about his family and what he knows that this would have done to his family.
Right, so that's Snowden's dad again. He's like, I know what this would have done to. He knows what this would do to his family again. That's to intimidate other whistleblowers who think, you're going to screw up your family if you do that.
Shut up, slave.
What's his agenda? The guy's making $350,000 a year. He's moving up the ladder, and he turns informer. When does that happen? Is money going up his nose? Some woman somewhere with a kid he's seeing on one of these business trips? What's his story?
Right, so that's from the clip from The Informant as well, and and one of the guys at his company, this guy Mark, who's Matt Damon, is the informant or the whistleblower in this movie. This guy's going to start creating all these possibilities. Well, maybe he's on drugs. Maybe he's got a mistress, or maybe he's fooling around his wife. Again, just to intimidate anybody else who might have that idea. Going to be like, people are going to start asking questions about you. So if you have any skeleton in the closet or anything to hide, you're going to be you're more than likely to become that whistleblower.
It apparently left his home in Hawaii for Hong Kong without telling his longtime girlfriend, acrobatic pole dancer Lindsay Mills, who...
Right, so I can tell you Snowden had an acrobatic pole dancing girlfriend. Again, just in case you got a stripper acrobatic pole dancing girlfriend, you better be careful too. Okay, you don't want to be a whistleblower with that kind of dirt on you.
If they were in my position, and you live a privileged life, you're living in Hawaii in paradise and making a ton of money, what would it take to make you leave everything behind?
Right, so again, and Snowden it's funny because they're doing an interview with him. You'd think he'd be on his own side, no less, but he brings up all these other ideas that are part of the rollout story, and he's like, well, if you have a privileged life and you're making good money and you're making a ton of money and you live in Hawaii, why would you, he's asking you the question, what would it take for you to become a whistleblower, and the answer you're going to come out of that is, oh, I would never do that because it wouldn't be worth it if they're going to reveal that I have a acrobatic pole dancing girlfriend, and that I could be fooling around with my wife, and that maybe I have a drug habit or something like that, and why would anybody want to do something like that? again, this is part of the intimidation of anybody else who had any notion to do anything that wasn't exact going along with the lying, cheating, and if you really think that that's the way things are going to work out well for you, fine. But this is an outright trying and attempt at intimidating any kind of person who even had the notion of being any kind of whistleblower at all. Here we go.
I feel like there must be points in time when they question the types of things that they do or that they have to do, the decisions they have to make, the lies they have to tell, or the obfuscations even.
Right, so people, yeah, so this is a friend, so-called friend of her name is Manavi or something like that. I don't know, I'm not quite sure what significance that weird name has, but she like, yeah, the people do question, like if they're doing the right thing and if they're breaking the law or if they're part of something that's breaking the law, and again, this is to discourage all kinds of whistleblowers.
He had a decent life. He was making $200,000 a year, living in Hawaii with his girlfriend, blah, blah, blah.
There's Glenn Beck, and he's going to tell you, yeah, he had a good life. I don't know why anybody, why would, and again, that's just to get anybody who has any idea of speaking the truth to shut up and carry on,
Shut up, slave.
And,
Animals! Napoleon has arranged to have this television here for your enjoyment and relaxation. This, my friends, is animalism in practice. But it is also animalism for us pigs to have the milk and apples.
Okay, so that's a clip from Animal Farm, which is a George Orwell book, by the way, and he's saying he's calling animalism, which is kind of like their ideology, political ideology in the movie, so to speak. The pigs led the revolution, so to speak, and now the people who led the revolution have become corrupt as well. So he says that we got your TV to watch, but by the way, the pigs have to take the milk and the apples, which is the sweet fruit of the group, so there we go. So the Animal Farm, they're gonna give him TV. So here's a TV to watch and distract. You can watch and be distracted by it while we take the milk and the apples. All right, you want to play that?
Animals! Napoleon has arranged to have this television here for your enjoyment and relaxation. This, my friends, is animalism in practice. But it is also animalism for us pigs to have the milk and apples.
Right, so while you are being entertained, and let's face it, that's exactly what this world is all about these days. Keep the sheeple entertained and distracted while we rob them blind, or keep the milk and the apples for ourselves. There you go.
But over time, that awareness of wrongdoing sort of builds up.
Okay, so Snowden's going to say, well, the awareness of wrongdoing has been building up.
Living unfreely, but comfortably, is something you're willing to accept, and I think many of us are. It's the human nature.
Right, so now Snowden is telling you see, again, he's the one, I'm not sure whose side he's on, if not his own, but sometimes he doesn't seem like he's on his own. So, yeah, you're going along to get along. He's saying, most people accept the problem, that they're doing something that's wrong, an awareness of, and they have an awareness of, most people have an awareness of wrongdoing, but they accept it because they're like, I want to rock the boat, I don't want to lose my job, I don't want to stop getting my paycheck, so and such, or so on.
You can get up every day, you can go to work, you can collect your large paycheck for relatively little work against the public interest, and go to sleep at night after watching your shows, but
okay, so you're going against the public interest, and then he goes, and then that's a twisted little line again, a cleverly scripted and beautifully written line where he says, "Then you can go to sleep at night after watching your shows," which the Animal Farm Napoleon just gave you TV to watch your shows while he eats some milk and apples. You get up, take your paycheck, shut up, slave, and go home and watch your shows.
Shut up, slave.
And you know what? Let me play that one more time, and then we'll keep it moving.
Living unfreely, but comfortably is something you're willing to accept, and I think many of us are. It's the human nature.
Living unfreely but comfortably is what people accept. Even though, he said most people are. They don't mind doing a little bit giving up a little freedom for their be able to watch their shows. I'll give up my freedom and my milk and apples. Just let me watch that TV some more. That's how it goes.
You can get up every day. You can go to work. You can collect your large paycheck for relatively little work. Against the public interest, and go to sleep at night after watching your shows. But
yeah, so you're doing relatively little work. It's against the public interest, and then go to sleep at night and watch your shows. Okay, and here's Snowden's dad again.
I would rather my son be a prisoner in the U.S. than a free man in a country that did not have, again, the freedoms that are protected that we have.
Okay, Snowden's dad said, "I'd rather my son be a prisoner than not live in a free country." That's so ironic and so ridiculously absurd. Okay, and why anybody's parent would say anything like that doesn't make any sense, no matter who says it. But
say anything they want, you say, and you'll follow them, because we are the docile masses. We're the puppet people. Oh, put it on our TV, it's true. Put it on our TV, it's true. We're the puppet people.
All right, put it on the TV, it's true. And then here's Snowden's dad again.
I would rather my son be a prisoner in the U.S. than a free man in a country that did not have, again, the freedoms that are protected that we have.
He kind of laughs in the middle. He's like, and I'd rather be a prisoner in the U.S. than be in a country that doesn't have freedom. And then he laughs. I mean, because he knows how absurd that sounds. Yeah, if it's on TV, you'll believe it.
Say anything they want, you say, and you'll follow them, because we are the docile masses. We're the puppet people. Oh, put it on our TV, it's true. Put it on our TV, it's true. We're the puppet people.
There you go.
The public needs to decide whether these programs and policies are right or wrong.
Okay, so now Snowden will tell you, and again, this is the guy who supposedly was the whistleblower, and he's giving you the whole debate and everything. So he's like, I think the public should decide whether or not we should be spied on or not. I think the public already. I don't think this is a debate. Okay, that's another thing. It's a false. They're going to give you a false debate to debate about. And that debate's going to be whether or not you're a hero or a traitor to be a whistleblower. Okay, that's no. And then they're going to ask you to debate whether or not you think you should be spied on or not. Like 100%. And they're going to tell you that the American people are divided. We're not divided on this. The media is going to offer you this division to debate, and you're not going to have any choice on whether to debate anything else. Okay, that's what this is all about, and I'll explain that to you as you'll see it. You'll see it laid out for yourself.
The public needs to decide whether these programs and policies are right or wrong.
Yeah, well, right. We like spying on all Americans is ever right, okay, and whether we need and whether that has anything to do with the basis of our freedom in our whole country and the foundation of our Constitution, of course it doesn't. But now we're opening that back up to re-debate it or something. Like you think tyranny? Let's debate whether tyranny is good or bad. Okay, let's debate whether or not we should have a queen and a king or not. Okay, rather than a representative, elected representative government, which again. We're going to re-debate that type of stuff now and reopen that can of worms, which is nonsensical and absurd. But that's because TV watching morons are going to get caught up. And don't think we'll see on Facebook everybody's like already caught up on like, is he a hero or is he a traitor? Is he a hero or is he a traitor? Again, and just you're already caught up in a stupid false debate that was offered to you by TV whores, okay, and who think you're a moron and are coming to have already can come to the conclusion, especially since 9/11, that of course you are.
So the question is Edward Snowden a hero or is he a traitor?
The media narrative has swirled around Edward Snowden, saint or sinner.
His recent piece for the Huffington Post is called Edward Snowden, Hero or Traitor.
Blowing the whistle can have you labeled a patriot or a traitor.
Is he a hero or a criminal, whistleblower or traitor?
And now many people are debating, is Snowden a hero or a traitor?
Everyday Americans debate, is Ed Snowden more of a hero for what he did or a traitor? Americans are split on Edward Snowden's actions, either having a definitive opinion,
I think he's a traitor,
or a wavering mindset that may change as more details emerge.
I wouldn't call him a hero. I mean, I guess he just felt as though the American public needed to know.
Okay, so now you're going to notice that they're going to say hero or traitor is a debate, but it's not really a traitor. It's either a traitor or not a traitor. Okay, so they don't even go. No, almost nobody says he's a hero. People say either he's a traitor, he's despicable, he's a bad guy, he's the worst, he's a traitor, or they're going to say, I'm not sure. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's I'm not sure if he's a hero, but he's definitely not. I'm not sure if he's a hero. That's the best you're going to get. Okay, watch. Everybody's going to be like, again, listen to this last clip, and we'll.
Edward Snowden has been labeled a traitor at home, but polls reveal many Americans, some 40%, believe he should not be persecuted.
In your piece, you say...
So Edward Snowden was labeled a traitor at home, but now 40% of Americans say, well, maybe he's not a traitor. So still that's less than half. Okay, so again, that's the way you can be manipulating. See, like so there is no and this is a false debate anyway. Who cares if this guy doesn't even exist, let alone he's a hero or traitor. Okay, again, here's how they're going to show you he's okay, so is he a definitive traitor or is he wavering?
Americans are split on Edward Snowden's actions, either having a definitive opinion,
I think he's a traitor,
or a wavering mindset that may change as more details emerge.
I wouldn't call him a hero. I mean, I guess he just felt as though the American public needed to know.
All right, so the girl's like he's a definitive traitor, and the other guy's like, well, I wouldn't call him a hero. Maybe I don't know, maybe. I don't know what he is. So again, not only is there a false debate, but now the false debate is even being skewed into he's a traitor until you the 100% of the American people say he's not a traitor, or call him a hero, or scream in the streets he's a hero. Again, it's a stupid false debate, but you're going to be skewed towards traitor. And again, that's going to be to intimidate anybody else who wants to be a whistleblower, and also to make people think, make you think that because people like to go along with the stupid crowd, obviously. So they're going to make you think like, well, calling him a traitor is really the way, it's really what the crowd is saying. So I guess I'll go along with the crowd because I like to be on the winning team. But calling him a traitor means that you're down with tyranny, okay? And that's what this is going to be the common thread throughout this whole story. Let's keep it rolling.
He struck a mixed chord with the American people. Some on the right joined some on the left to see him as a hero. Others on the right called him a traitor. Many in the middle and on the center left questioned his motives.
Okay, so Chris Matthews is going to get you all confused, like who's the right and the left call him a hero, and then the right and most on the right call him a traitor, but then there's people on the left who call him a traitor, there's people right to center, right to left who also call him traitor, hero, traitor. But basically that word traitor is going to come out stronger and fuller in the end, as you can see, as you'll see.
Edward Snowden has been labeled a traitor at home, but polls reveal many Americans, some 40%, believe he should not be persecuted.
Okay, so right, he's either a traitor or he should not be persecuted. They didn't give you the hero option here. So it's now we're skewing the debate versus the false debate that we don't even need to be debating anyways, whether he's a hero or traitor. But now it's going to be like he's a traitor, but if you want to say hero, then you're going to be on the fringe, okay? And that means that if you think he's a traitor, that means you like being spied on, and you think that people should keep their mouths shut and take their paycheck and shut up and not be a whistleblower.
In your piece, you say that Edward Snowden's actions were criminal. Can you explain why you feel he should be in jail?
So that's Democracy Now!, which is considered a lefty outlet, to say the least. And Amy Goodman's she said, explain why he should be in jail. Right, so that's not exactly neutral either. You know, she's like, is he? You said he's a traitor. Explain why he should be in jail. Okay, that's not like she does not question. She's assisting the interviewee by saying, explain to us why he should be put in jail. That's an interesting way to skew a question, isn't it?
In your piece, you say that Edward Snowden's actions were criminal. Can you explain why you feel he should be in jail?
Edward Snowden's actions were criminal. Explain why he should be in jail. Again, that's how you're being manipulated, folks. Okay, you know, and this ain't gonna turn out good for you when you're not picking up on these things.
I would like to see Ed come home and face this.
Okay, his dad's like just wants him in jail. His dad's like, I want him to come home and face this. I think he's better off in jail than being free in another country that isn't free, but is free enough to let him be free and him be in jail in the country that he's supposed to be free in. So again, that's just mumbo jumbo to manipulate your moronic TV worshipping existence.
According to the Washington Post poll, 56% of Americans find the NSA program acceptable.
Okay, so now you see the Washington Post is going to tell you that we took a poll, and let's. I hope you don't give any credulity to any of these stupid poll numbers, because they just make that stuff up. I think 6% of Americans think NSA spying on them and reading all their emails and tapping their phones or whatever is acceptable. Well more than half. That's more than most elections percentage wise are decided upon. So so Americans, you know, so they're going to tell you that the average guy, the guy next door, thinks that you're a troublemaker if you think that you shouldn't be spied on by the NSA.
So, in your opinion, is Snowden a hero or a traitor?
Well, he's certainly not a hero, and I don't think he...
Hero traitor is certainly not a hero.
...meets the legal definition of being a traitor according to our Constitution, but he certainly has done a very, very bad thing, and I think he's also a very troubled young man.
And he's like, so I don't know if he meets the legal definition of traitor, but he's certainly done a bad thing, he's certainly not a hero, and he's certainly a very troubled bad man.
So Edward Snowden, is he a traitor or is he a hero and a whistleblower? I'll begin with you, Alan.
I think it's hard to answer that question.
Right, and then Alan Combs, who's Mr. Lefty again, she's like, is he a traitor or a hero? And he's like, and he's not gonna give you like, so the answer is either gonna be definite traitor or I don't know, or I'm not sure. Okay, think about that.
You know, I'm not quite sure yet how I feel about it.
Right, another NBC is like, I'm not quite sure if he's a traitor or a hero yet, but the righty people are like, oh, he's definitely a traitor, and many of the lefty, I know what, I shouldn't even say that. Most everybody, the right and the left, are going to be like, definitely traitor, or I'm not quite sure, I'm thinking about it. Maybe he's a traitor, maybe not a hero, but not a traitor.
I'm sitting here sort of undecided. Snowden's been asking me, you think this guy ought to be tried for... I don't know yet.
Okay, even Limbaugh is going to be like, I'm not sure if he's a traitor or a hero. I don't know yet, okay? And then you can hear the fringe people.
Now, the question to you is, because many of you are confused, is this fellow, Edward Snowden, a patriot or a traitor? My point of view, he's a patriot.
Okay, so now Savage, who is considered fringe, even though he's a total puppet mouthpiece for the misleading of those who think they might be trying to do the right thing or whatever you want to call it. But so Savage is like, I think he's now he doesn't say if he's a hero or a traitor. He's a patriot or a traitor. Okay, because now we don't even. Now there's a difference. Now they're going to. They're not even going to give you hero in that debate. We're going to switch the debate to patriot or traitor. I'm not quite sure what. There is a difference between a hero and a patriot for sure. Let's just keep it going. So now we're going to go to TMZ, which is a gossip show, and that's where you're going to hear the one guy say he's a hero is on the gossip show.
The NSA contractor who blew the whistle on top-secret surveillance programs designed to spy on U.S. citizens, the biggest leak in modern U.S. history!
Right, and okay, so this is where you're going to get the hero guy from, which is going to be Tom Morello, who's a guitar player from Rage Against the Machine. He's a great guitar player, actually, but so they're going to give you this cartoony, effeminate man screaming, like, oh, you see, so they're going to try to discredit the, and with all due respect to any feminine speaking men, they're going to try to taint the only person who's going to say he's a hero on that I could even find practically. Let's just play that one again.
The NSA contractor who blew the whistle on top secret surveillance programs designed to spy on U.S. citizens, the biggest leak in modern U.S. history!
Do you think when he comes to America, he should be tried as a criminal?
He's a hero. He's a hero.
Wow.
He exposed the crimes to the government. I mean, that we're all being spied on all the time.
Right, so that's Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, and he's going to say he's a hero after that cartoony type introduction. Keep it going.
I don't know that he's necessarily a traitor because of it. Not that I'm going to go pat him on the back for it, good job.
Right, I'm not going to call him a hero, but I'm not, maybe he's not a traitor. That's so the debate is only between whether or not I don't know or he's a traitor, but not he's a hero. And again, it's a false debate, so we're debating something that's ridiculous. Anyway, keep it going.
What Snowden has revealed has caused irreversible and significant damage to our country and to our allies.
I don't know. I just don't care.
You should care.
What I'm saying is I don't care if the government heard my conversations, because I would just be like, oh yeah, I totally sent that picture.
Okay, so now this blonde girl who's going to represent that, and she's like, oh, I don't care, whatever, and she's going to be a blonde, hair, blue-eyed white girl who's going to be like, yeah, I don't really care, because I don't care because I'm not doing anything wrong anywhere. I just sent a picture. I don't care what they do. Like that's going to end up well for you. Okay, so again, and it's not so hero traitor. I don't care. I'm playing with my iPhone right now. Okay, right, I'm playing with my iPhone, sending pictures of my iPhone. Okay, I don't care.
But obviously some laws must have been broken.
Okay, then Combs, who said, I'm not sure, then he said, but obviously some laws have been broken, but I'm still not sure if he's a traitor or a hero. But so he maybe he's not a traitor, but he should go to jail anyway, according to the lefty Alan Combs.
Anybody who reaches out to the press to expose fraud, crimes, unconstitutional activity, which this clearly appears to be, can be traced and shut down.
Okay, so Chris Hedges, who you would think was somebody who's a libertarian-minded type of person, they ask him, is he a hero or traitor? And he doesn't even answer the question. He just says, well, anybody who is a whistleblower will be shut down. So he doesn't even answer if it's a hero or traitor. Keep going.
So I'm not going to worry about the words. I'm going to worry about our hopefully apprehending him and seeing that he feels the full weight of the legal system, which is what he ought to do.
All right, so Kerry's like, I don't care if he's a hero or traitor. He needs to be apprehended and locked up. Okay, whatever he is. Then we got another lefty, Jeff Toobin, who's the CNN legal correspondent, who's another...
Jeffrey Toobin of CNN and The New Yorker writes that Snowden is, quote, a grandiose narcissist who deserves to be in prison.
Right, so now that's for the people who think they're smart. So he's going to use grandiose narcissist, like, ooh. So I agree with Jeffrey Toobin because I think he, I have a big vocabulary like Jeffrey Toobin does. I know what grandiose and narcissist means. So I'm going to go with Jeffrey Toobin, which says he's a grandiose narcissist who should be
Jeffrey Toobin of CNN and The New Yorker writes that Snowden is, quote, a grandiose narcissist who deserves to be in prison.
There you go. He deserves to be in prison. So now if I use big words and I think I'm cool, and I use big words like grandiose and narcissist, then I think he should be in prison too. Okay, again.
Betrayed his country. And in that sense, I suppose anybody could make claim, yeah, he's a traitor to his nation. There is no way but to make a judgment about the way in which he has done harm to America's national security interest. So I think, you can use almost whatever term you want. I think those actions are despicable.
Okay, Kerry's like, I don't care what you call him. He's despicable, traitor, hurt the country, and traitor. Again, that's a Democrat leader telling you that. So it's not that's what people got confused. That's why Savage like, I know you're confused because Savage said, I know you're confused because people are confused. Like, wow, I'm a Democrat, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to tell me what I'm supposed to do. Tell me what I'm supposed to think. Tell me what I'm supposed to hear. Tell me what I'm supposed to buy. I'm not sure. I'm confused. I don't know if I'm a liberal Democrat New Yorker. Now am I supposed to hate him or like him? Well, and so what they're going to tell you is either hate him or just say you don't know.
Now, the question to you is, because many of you are confused, is this fellow, Edward Snowden, a patriot or a traitor?
Okay, the question to you is he a patriot or a traitor? And because I know you're confused. I know you guys are confused.
Oh, he's a bad guy. Maybe working with the Chinese. He's in Hong Kong. Oh, yeah.
Right, that's Cenk, the Young Turks guy, Chunk or whatever his name is, and he's like, oh yeah, he's a bad guy, and he's trying to say like, and he's working with the Chinese. He's trying to say like that's what other people say, but he doesn't give you his opinion. He just says, oh, all the people saying that.
I think this kid's a punk. I think he's a coward, and I don't view him as a patriot at all. He's a coward because he won't come home and face the music.
Okay, there's another NBC guy, Schultz. He's a coward punk, man.
You took your first pace like a man, and you learned the two greatest things in life.
Well, look at me.
Never rat on your friends, and always keep your mouth shut.
Okay, so in Goodfellas, even and when you're a gangster, that's when you're a gangster. So the gangsters look down upon Snowden too, because he's saying always keep your mouth shut and never rat on your friends. That's so De Niro in Goodfellas is also against Edward Snowden.
Well, first of all, he's a terrible guy. I said it right from the beginning. So many people are trying to defend him. Oh, look at what he's revealed. And isn't it wonderful what he's revealed? And yet people marching in his favor. He's a terrible guy who's really set our country back.
Okay, he's a terrible guy. Terrible Trump. He's very, and Trump, I listen to Trump. Trump's, he's cool with me.
And as far as Snowden, he did, I may be in disagreement with you, he did violate the law in terms of releasing those documents. We don't know. I understand, but he did violate the law.
Okay, Pelosi, well, I know you don't like this, but he violated the law. He should be going to jail.
He's a traitor.
Boehner, that's right now. He's a traitor. Boehner just says he's a traitor. He doesn't say, well, kind of this, that. So again, the false debate is whether or not he's kind of like, I don't know, I'm not sure, or he's definitely a traitor. He's definitely a terrible guy. He's definitely working with the Chinese, and he's definitely damaged our country and hurt our country.
But evidently, he places himself above the law, having betrayed his country.
Okay, and he betrayed his country, and now Chris Matthews.
In my religion, you can do something wrong and still be not be a perfect vessel. He is not a perfect vessel.
Okay, he's not perfect. He's not, you can do my religion. That's a tie. And he's like, my religion, in other words, you're forgiven, you can get forgiven for not being perfect in my religion. So, yeah, he's saying, yeah, he did some stuff wrong, but, maybe we should forgive him, or maybe we shouldn't put him in jail. Okay, so again, that's not exactly the affirmative. He's a hero, which is like I told you, the only place you heard that so far is Tom Morello on TMZ. Okay, and then you got Judge Knapp again. Here's an interesting one, and made me think of one of my favorite fans who is very devout, born again Christian, and so here's Judge Napolitano.
Obviously, heroes can be flawed. The only hero that wasn't flawed was killed on Good Friday.
There you go. So now, if Snowden, because Judge Knapp will say, I think he's kind of a hero, but heroes can be flawed. And the only hero who wasn't flawed was Jesus Christ himself. So again, and Chris Matthews like, yep, heroes aren't perfect vessels. Not everybody's a perfect vessel. In my religion, you forgive people who are perfect vessels. Judge Knapp's the only hero that isn't flawed is the Lord himself. Keep it going.
Where do you think you go when you die? I learned at church that if you're good, you go to heaven. But if you're bad, you go to a place where the dead believe they're still living and they pray for death, but death won't come. UPN? You're funny.
Right, and so she's like, you go where the death don't die, and you wait, what she say again? Anyway, and UPN is a Universal Paramount network, which is now defunct, and I think it turned into the CW network. I'm not even sure if that's still going. The CBS and Time Warner network, and let's so anyway, so what'd you say about that?
Where do you think you go when you die? I learned at church that if you're good, you go to heaven. But if you're bad, you go to a place where the dead believe they're still living and they pray for death, but death won't come. UPN? You're funny.
Yep, if you're bad, you go to that place where the dead prays to be dead, but the death won't come. He's like, UPN? Anyway, they put them out of their misery a long time ago. Let's keep it going.
He was surprised that military training concentrated so much on killing people. Did he really not know that that's what the military is actually there to do in war, is kill people?
All right, this psychopath Lawrence O'Donnell on NBC, he's like, didn't he know that the military is for killing people? That's what the military does, kill people, right? Unfortunately, it's unfortunate that they do kill people like that anyway, but it's even way more unfortunate, in fact, evil to the core, that this guy is like saying, like, don't yeah, doesn't everybody know the military goes around killing people? I don't think that that's what their intent, or there should be. I don't think that their job is to kill people. I think their job is to fight for our country. Against all that stuff, obviously, it's just all a game that we playing, and so Lawrence O'Donnell is telling you that Snowden is naive for thinking that the military doesn't kill people.
He was surprised that military training concentrated so much on killing people. Did he really not know that that's what the military is actually there to do in war, is kill people?
I don't know where O'Donnell gets this information. Like, he was surprised to think that the military is about killing people. I'm not sure where they get these information. Where did they get they have a bio on him or something that that he put out before he became a whistleblower and ran to Hong Kong?
And for somebody to tell the American people the truth is a heroic effort. And he knows that it's very risky. He knows he's committing, civil disobedience, and he knows that he could get punished.
Okay, so Ron Paul, who's, if you haven't figured out by now, that he's down with the program also, and that his job is to put out that false libertarian point of view. So now Ron Paul's going to be like, well, he's an heroic effort, but he's going to get punished and go to jail for it. So again, that's the best you're going to get, is if even Ron Paul, who's Mr. Fringe himself, supposedly, and he's not, like I said, because he is a scripted participant in this garbage, okay, but anyway, so he's going to say, yeah, he did a heroic effort, but he's going to get punished.
And for somebody to tell the American people the truth is a heroic effort. And he knows that it's very risky. He knows he's committing, civil disobedience, and he knows that he could get punished.
He's committing civil disobedience, which is kind of an odd way to put it.
The internet is not filtered here, no more so than any other Western government.
Okay, so then Snowden says he's in Hong Kong. He said, well, the internet's not filtered any more than it is in everywhere else, which is kind of a slick twist spin on whether or not the internet's filtered at all. Keep going.
The internet is not filtered here, no more so than any other Western government.
Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein, chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, said that Snowden should not be considered a whistleblower because, quote, what he did was an act of treason.
Okay, so now we're going to get into a part where they're going to start talking about, okay, I think we should kill Edward Snowden. And I'm going to, as we go through that, I'm going to give you a little bit of prediction on that. Again, Edward Snowden is fake, okay? He's not a real person. He gave a scripted, weird, bizarre interview where he goes through all these different agendas that I'm going to point out to you here. So anyway, so that was, again, Dianne Feinstein, who's another lefty, to say the least. She's like, oh, I think he should be tried for treason. Tried for treason.
We need to get very, very serious about treason. And oh, by the way, for treason, as in the case of Bradley Manning or Edward Snowden, you bring back the death penalty.
Okay, so he should be tried for treason, and we should give him the death penalty when he's convicted of treason. Okay, Ron Paul?
Yeah, I'm worried about somebody in our government might kill him with a cruise missile or a drone missile.
Okay, and that's so now another person's bringing up the mention of maybe we should kill him.
And that's a fear I'll live under for the rest of my life, however long that happens to be. You can't come forward again.
For the rest of my life, however long that happens to be. And again, this guy is, again, assisting the entire rollout of the story by every single word in his little interview. Seems to fit perfectly with all the garbage you're being told in the media. And isn't that isn't that a funny coincidence, huh? And why? And at the same time, this stuff, not only does it dovetail with every single stupid bit of garbage that you're being told to believe in the media, but it has nothing to do with what he's really should be talking about at all. That's because this is all a written script for morons who watch TV. And if you can't understand that, if you can't get this through your head that this is all contrived nonsense, then you got a big problem, okay? I promise you, because I'm not sure how much more obvious it can get than this. This is not, and if you think that this guy is real, you are an absolute idiot, okay? And I'm sorry, folks. I'm tired of candy coating it for you. And you know what? And this show's far from done. But at the end of the show, you were going to be absolutely sure, or two things: either you didn't listen to the show, or you are so blinded and so set that you're going to believe it no matter what. Then God bless you. But frankly, I don't think you'll listen to the whole show if that's the case. Keep going.
It's the world's most powerful intelligence agencies. And
I'll play that one again. Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna listen to my show at all after I just told you that. If you're so set in your ways that you're so sure he had to have done it, has to exist and has to have done this. Again, if you're so sure of that, then you have a lot of learn. You have a lot to learn and a lot of learning to do. Okay, because this is as obvious can be. I don't know if that I've proven to you outright yet, but I will. Here we go.
And that's a fear I'll live under for the rest of my life, however long that happens to be. You can't come forward against the world's most powerful intelligence agencies and be completely free from risk, because they're such powerful adversaries that no one can meaningfully oppose them. If they want to get you, they'll get you in time.
Okay, so he's telling you, he's again assisting the rollout story by like, yeah, they're going to get me. I think this is leading towards like I said, this is a fabricated story, but I'm going to make a little prediction here that says that I think this is leading towards Ed Snowden will eventually be killed at the end of this event of this rollout story. I have a feeling that that's how they're going to end it for him, just because they're talking so much about it, and there's other reasons which I'm going to bring up as we go. But I think that's going to be the conclusion to this one, and then I guess that'll get everybody all scared about how, again, that'll be another intimidation for whistleblowers, and then that'll be getting people debating even another thing like, oh, should the government have killed him? But I think that they're lending a lot of justification right now to he tried to escape or something happened, just like we killed the Tsarnaev brothers, and we're like now the big thing is to justify killing Americans for whatever reason, and so that I got a feeling that might be the way this one will end too. I throw a few bucks on that.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina tweeted, "I hope we follow Mr. Snowden to the ends of the earth to bring him to justice," language echoing what Senator Graham once said in the hunt for Osama bin Laden.
Okay, so again, we killed Osama bin Laden, and now Lindsey Graham is echoing the same sentences where we should chase Snowden and get him dead or alive, quote unquote. Also, keep it going.
So I hope we'll chase him to the ends of the earth, bring him to justice, and let the Russians know there will be consequences if they harbor this guy.
All right, so let's bring him to justice, which is like that's like we call bring him to justice is another word for killing somebody now, or another euphemism for killing somebody now. And Lindsey Graham's like, yeah, well, just like we did with Osama bin Laden, we'll bring him to justice and kill him too. And then he's like, and if the Russians don't say a word, we'll fuck them up too.
The spies in the old days used to be executed.
Okay, and then in Goodfellas when Pesci kills the guy Spider in the bar who was bringing him drinks.
Fucking rat anyways. Whole family's all rats. Would have grew up to be a rat.
Stupid bastard. I can't fucking believe you.
Okay, so and I don't know, Max Ratt is not a rat in that sense or regard, but they're calling Edward Snowden a rat. He's a guy who's ratting out his work, his job, or the people who provided him with his employment. He's ratting them out, and so Joe Pesci kills the guy who he calls, and then he calls him, he was a rat anyway. So again, that's just kind of, I feel like there's a kind of they're setting this up for eventual quote unquote assassination of Edward Snowden.
Fucking rat anyways. Whole family's all rats. Would have grew up to be a rat.
Stupid bastard. I can't fucking believe you.
But for the meantime, he's in the airport in Moscow.
Government is going to grant themselves powers unilaterally to create greater control over American society and global society.
Ooh, there you go. And again, very well scripted, and he's very cleverly, he doesn't forget to put in American society and global society, because the global government, and he's like, government's going to grant itself powers.
When they betray that trust, well, then we have to push it over to the Department of Justice and others for the appropriate act.
Department of Justice and others. Again, kind of this underlying hint that and the others is going to be like the CIA or some other secret murdering outfit that we're going to turn this over to.
You got them by the balls. Their hearts and minds will follow.
You got them by the balls, their hearts and minds will follow. That's a clip from All the President's Men. Okay, this guy was like the head of the Washington Post, if you will.
Is keeping a dangerous secret the new patriotism?
Okay, that's the question they ask now. Is keeping a dangerous secret the new patriotism? In other words, if you don't keep the secret, if you expose lies or tyranny or whatever, or wrongdoing, you are not a patriot anymore. He said, keeping a secret's the new patriotism, folks.
I, sitting my desk, certainly had the authorities to wiretap anyone, from you or your accountant to a federal judge to even the president if I had a personal email.
Right. This guy, by the way, doesn't sound anything like somebody who's running from the CIA, but, that's just, if you're a TV watching moron, I guess you would believe anything you're told. So good luck with that.
He has issued himself a death warrant. This guy is, he's at least lost his life, and he may have his life taken from him.
That psychopath Glenn Beck, why anybody would believe a word out of his mouth, I don't know either, but he's issued himself a death warrant, he's at least lost his life, and he's going to have his life taken from him. I'm like, all right, we got you. They're going to kill, he's going to get killed. They're going to kill him.
Deterrence is the art of producing in the mind of the enemy the fear to attack.
Okay, that was Dr. Strangelove, and he said deterrence is the art of instilling fear in the enemy, okay? That's how you deter people from doing things, okay? How are you going to deter people from, becoming whistleblowers? By instilling them the fear of being killed. Okay, and that's what this is all about. And it's interesting how Dr. Strangelove said that in the movie Dr. Strangelove of the same name.
He has issued himself a death warrant. This guy is,
You know, he's at least lost his life, and he may have his life taken from him.
There you go.
Deterrence is the art of producing in the mind of the enemy the fear to attack.
But let me, one last thing, because you asked a final question. No, I'm not going to be scrambling jets to get a 29-year-old hacker.
Okay, so Obama's joking about how, yeah, no, I'm not going to kill him with a fighter jet. Okay.
Yes, you're living in a police state. Your government is evil.
I really want to apologize to a lot of people in this room and a lot of people who aren't in this room for my actions. I'm on medication now, so I'm seeing things a lot more clearly. And I just really want to... I realize I hurt a lot of people, and so I want to say I'm so sorry. Greatly apologize. And accept responsibility for my actions.
All right, that's what Snowden's going to have to say if he plans to try to get out of this thing. But that was the informant apologize. He said I'm on medication, so I'm thinking much more clearly now, because that's what medication does for you.
Can a security state win hearts and minds?
Can a security state win hearts and minds? Again, yeah, well, 56% of the people think that the NSA is acceptable. So again, they're trying to condition you to accept the police state and the tyranny and the wiretapping and lack of privacy and the encroachment, quote unquote, on your privacy. You can hear that word used by Obama himself, the salesman for the selling of tyranny. And again, you're going to embrace it because you think everything out of his lying mouth is some sort of a God-sent gospel, and you just can't. And you've been told to believe everything he says. And if I make a comment about him, then I must be a racist or something like that. That's all the nonsense you're being told. Again, this is a rollout story to tell you what to believe and how to think and what to buy.
It doesn't matter whether they're Democrats or Republicans. They run our lives.
Okay.
And now we turn to what's been a big question for days. Where is Edward Snowden?
Where is Edward Snowden? And here we go on that thing. Again, we have the biggest intelligence apparatus in the world, by far, the largest budget in history of the world, yet we don't know where Edward Snowden is, who's apparently just in parking, in hotels, and airports. Okay, it's not even like he's hiding in a cave in Afghanistan, like in a secret super bunker with encrypted satellite transmission capabilities. So now we can't even find a guy in an airport. Okay.
And now we turn to what's been a big question for days. Where is Edward Snowden?
When we asked the administration of the Russian president, his spokesperson said that they know nothing about where Snowden is at the moment.
Earlier on, we heard from the foreign minister of Russia saying that they did not know where Snowden was. And
now nobody knows where he is.
Okay, and keep it going. We don't know where he is.
So where exactly is Edward Snowden tonight?
Where is he?
Supposedly, a CNN reporter found Osama bin Laden, took a television camera crew with him, went into Osama bin Laden's hideout, interviewed him and his top leadership, his top lieutenants and colonels and generals in their hideout. This is a CNN reporter with a camera crew. And he came out and told everybody, within 3 weeks, Osama bin Laden is going to attack the United States and Israel. Now, don't you think that's kind of strange, folks? You see, because the largest intelligence apparatus in the world, with the biggest budget in the history of the world, has been looking for Osama bin Laden for years and years and years, and can't find him. The FBI also, under the leadership of Louis Freeh, has been looking for Osama bin Laden for years and years and years and years and years and many years, and can't find him. Some doofus jerk-off reporter with a camera crew waltzes right into his hideout and interviews him.
Yeah, and that was Bill Cooper talking about how the same thing happened with when they were looking for Osama bin Laden. This was before 9/11, by the way, that he said that where he's like, they've been looking for we have the biggest intelligence apparatus in the world, looking for a guy, and CNN walks into his private cave in Afghanistan and finds him and interviews him, but we don't know where he is. Okay, and now we don't know where Edward Snowden is. And again, we have an even larger and even more obtrusive, encroaching apparatus to find him, yet we still don't know where he is. Why not? Because he doesn't exist, and this is all a hoax and all a nonsensical, stupid story.
I have great respect for CNN. Ted Turner was the best person I ever worked for. I think it was an independent network. I think it still is.
Oh yeah, and Larry King's like, sure, and Ted Turner's the greatest guy he ever worked for. Okay, that maniac, and he thinks he's an independent news source and still is. There is no evidence of any of that being true, and so Larry King will chalk it up to either he's senile and delusional, or he's lying intentionally. I would actually go with the latter. He was as old as he is. He knows what he knows how to read the script correctly. He knows how to be down with the program.
Good evening. He seems to be, for the time being, the most wanted man in the world. For much of the day today, much of this past weekend, no one was sure with any certainty just where Edward Snowden is.
We don't know where he is.
And one thing he did not reveal today, Nick, is his whereabouts, right?
No clues on his whereabouts.
Doesn't know, nobody knows where he is. No clues on
the
his
man who
whereabouts.
says the public has a right to know U.S. government secrets is keeping his own whereabouts a secret.
But like everything else about Edward Snowden, the rest is a complete mystery. Nobody has actually seen him today.
The question tonight is simpler. Where is he?
Tonight, Snowden is still believed to be in Russia.
Snowden is somewhere here inside Moscow's massive Sheremetyevo airport, in a part that Russians claim is not technically in Russian territory. It's a no man's land for the most wanted fugitive in the world.
The CIA, the NSA, the FBI, the Defense Intelligence Agency could not find Osama bin Laden in their wildest dreams.
Yeah, right. We couldn't find him, but CNN can, and again, nobody knows where Ed Snowden is, but WikiLeaks can find him.
Snowden's U.S. passport was revoked only yesterday, apparently not in time to prevent his escape on a route being arranged by the WikiLeaks group.
Well, it seems that Ecuador is working with WikiLeaks.
And Ecuador is working with WikiLeaks. We're all working with WikiLeaks, and WikiLeaks knows where he is.
You know, WikiLeaks does have some financial backers. I'm not sure we know who they are, but clearly they're using some of their funds.
Okay, and I'm going to tell you, WikiLeaks is a total piece of garbage, shim-sham deception as well. And if you believe that stuff, I got a bridge in Brooklyn that I'm looking to unload at a decent price. Please email me for the details. But if you believe that WikiLeaks is some sort of an independent whistleblowing leak fest, you are an absolute moron once again. And I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry to keep all they do is recycle the same garbage, and I guess it's because you said, okay, I'll believe that. So you're like, okay, you believe it? Here you go again. I'll give it to you some more then, if you believe it. If you like it, if you can take it, you're gonna get it. Okay. I think it was Frederick Douglass who said, you will get the amount of oppression and tyranny that you are willing to accept. Okay. You're gonna, what do you think? You're gonna get the amount that your limit is the amount you're getting. Okay. The only time that you will not get that much is when you decide, okay, whenever the only time it's going to stop from moving forward. Okay, the amount of tyranny and the progressive evisceration of your freedom, the only time that's going to stop moving forward is when you decide one day that that's enough. Okay, that's the only time it's going to stop. Otherwise, it's going to go right in a perfect curve. Okay, right to the edge of the amount you are willing to accept. Okay, and that's all the news is here to do is to get you to accept that crap. Okay, here's Wolf Blitzer.
And so you personally know where he is, but you're not at liberty to share that information with our viewers. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, so the guy in WikiLeaks says, I know where he is. So he knows where he is. WikiLeaks knows where he is, but the but nobody else does, including our military apparatus and our secret spying apparatus. And you know, he's a fugitive, and we need him to get back here, but we don't know where he is. You know, if you see him, we can't go to WikiLeaks and tell him where the hell he is, or you're in big trouble. No, and you know, and WikiLeaks, of course, you know, they're independent. They're not a made up stupid hoax that was put out in the news that people believe. No, that's silly. No, Julian Assange dyes his hair different colors and speaks in all smooth, and he lives in the back room in the Ecuadorian embassy in London. Yeah, no, that sounds perfectly reasonable and it makes perfect sense. Of course I believe that garbage, okay? Because I'm an absolute TV worshipping moron, okay? Jeez, and so Wolf Blitz, so WikiLeaks knows where he is.
And so you personally know where he is, but you're not at liberty to share that information with our viewers. Is that right?
That is correct.
I'm not at liberty to share that information with CNN's viewers. Sorry, I know where he is though, and and I'm on CNN telling you that, and no, and I'm not going to get a knock on the door from American Intelligence. Why does American Intelligence come up and say, "Hey, you know where he is? We don't know where he is, man." You know, and you know what, and the absolute brain dead American public believes that. Isn't that interesting?
A reporter from CNN and his little camera crew got in to Osama bin Laden's secret hideout and conducted an interview. If you don't believe me, tune into CNN. They're probably running it right now as I'm speaking. And if you believe it, you are one of the stupidest jerks that ever lived on the face of this earth. And whatever is going to happen that they're going to blame on Osama bin Laden, don't you even believe it.
All right, and Bill Cooper, that was before 9/11 when he predicted that he said whatever they're going to blame on Osama bin Laden, don't you believe it? And whatever they're going to blame on Edward Snowden, don't believe it either. Okay, that's the moral of this story.
But he was a transit passenger, and he's still in the transit zone. He has never left the airport, never been on Russian soil. Therefore, we don't know where his whereabouts are, besides the fact that he was in that transit zone.
He's lost in the transit zone.
If he had the choice, Snowden could live here comfortably for a long time. It has shops, restaurants, even a hotel for transiting passengers. And it's a no man's land, so he'd have no visa issues, even though his U.S. passport has been revoked.
And he can just hide anonymously in the airport. He's in the transit zone.
He was reportedly whisked away by a group of official cars that met his plane on the tarmac. We spoke to passengers on that flight who saw those cars, but they had no idea that Snowden was on board.
Okay, so they whisked him off the tarmac in Moscow. They, you know, how anybody has that access, that type of access. I don't know. I mean, can I go pick up my my relatives at the airport and be like, you know what? I don't have time for you guys to go through customs. I'll just pull up to next to the plane on the tarmac, and you just tell the stewardess to open the door and have me, and I'll jump out of the plane, and you just try to catch me or something like that. That's how we'll do it, okay?
It's believed that Snowden has been in the care of Ecuadorian diplomats who are expected to escort him on the rest of his journey. Snowden is reportedly spending the night in a hotel inside the transit area. He doesn't have a Russian visa, so he can't leave the airport.
Okay, yeah, so he got whisked off the tarmac by the Ecuadorian diplomats. How, I don't know. And because he's a global fugitive of the evil empire of the United States, and from the evil empire of the United States, and he's going to, but we can pull up on the tarmac in Moscow and pick and get him off the plane somehow. I guess they bring along one of those little staircase things that attaches to the plane, or he just jumps, or maybe he just says, "Open up the door, I'm Edward Snowden, and I'm hiding from the CIA, and I'm just going to jump out of this plane on the tarmac into the hands of the Ecuadorian diplomats, and then they'll whisk me off." Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, that's how it works.
But also, here you have Edward Snowden, who is sort of like that Tom Hanks character from that movie. What was
Lost in the Airport.
The Terminal. The Terminal. Victor was the character's first name. He's in a transit space there in the Russian airport.
Okay, so that was an interesting one. I went and watched that whole movie because of this, doing my research on this Edward Snowden thing where he's hiding in the terminal in Moscow, and I was like, wow, this movie and why? And that movie was the biggest piece of garbage I've ever seen. And how Spielberg, Tom Hanks, Catherine Zeta-Jones were all part of that thing. Is kind of mind-boggling to me, because I'm like, it is a 2004 movie, and I was like, wow, do they really plan this Edward Snowden thing almost 10 years ago, or do they just do a movie like that, which is obviously a movie had an intent to be used for something, and now it is being used for something. I don't know. Maybe somebody's smart enough to say, okay, we'll just use it. We'll make it it'll be like a component that we can always put in later to one of our stupid stories. That's possible. But whatever it was uncanny how the transit area is being mentioned in the movie The Terminal, and here it goes.
You have no legal right to enter the United States, and I have no legal right to detain you. It seems that you have fallen through a small crack in the system.
I am correct.
Yes. So, until we get this sorted out, I have no choice but to allow you to enter the International Transit Lounge. All right? So I'm going to sign a release form that is going to make you a free man.
Free?
Free.
Free.
Free to go anywhere you like within the confines of the International Transit Lounge.
You're free within the confines of the International Transit Lounge, which has come up. And where is Edward Snowden now? He's hiding in the International Transit Lounge in Moscow.
And congratulate you on living in the land of freedom. Here you go, America. You are free to do as we tell you. You are free to do as we tell you.
You are free to roam the International Transit Lounge, and that's interesting. And then, that's interesting.
You have no legal right to enter the United States, and I have no legal right to detain you. It seems that you have fallen through a small crack in the system.
I am correct.
Yes. So, until we get this sorted out, I have no choice but to allow you to enter the International Transit Lounge. All right? So I'm going to sign a release form that is going to make you a free man.
Free?
Free to go anywhere you like within the confines of the International Transit Lounge.
There you go.
And congratulate you on living in the land of freedom. Here you go, America. You are free to do as we tell you. You are free to do as we tell you.
There you go. You are free to go into the International Transit Lounge, and you are free to do as we tell you. That's for sure.
He's in fact in the transit area. We can't see him right now, but nobody's seen him, and we've been on the ground for nearly 17 hours now.
Can't find him in the old transit lounge. It's a very, very hard to see place. It's it's you're hidden in plain view there, which is always that's the hardest way to find people, when they're hidden in plain view. Yeah.
The U.S. has revoked Snowden's passport, so he's traveling on a refugee document of passage issued by Ecuador.
Document of passage. Okay, where did you hear that one before? Okay, come on. I know you can think of it. Where's a document of passage? How about letters of transit? Remember that?
You know what this is? Something that even you have never seen. Letters of transit signed by General Weygand. Cannot be rescinded, not even questioned. One moment. Tonight I'll be selling those for more money than even I have ever dreamed of. And then, adio Casablanca.
Peter Lorre, the great Peter Lorre, in the movie Casablanca, he had the letters of transit. He left them with Rick. And now you have the passage, the document of passage.
The U.S. has revoked Snowden's passport, so he's traveling on a refugee document of passage issued by Ecuador.
Ooh, document of passage and the letters of transit, huh?
You know what this is? Something that even you have never seen. Letters of transit signed by General Weygand. Cannot be rescinded, not even questioned. One moment. Tonight I'll be selling those for more money than even I have ever dreamed of. And then, adio, Casablanca.
Adio, Casablanca.
Another social illusion, social engineering project to change the minds and the attitudes and the beliefs of the people of the world, and especially the United States, to bring about one world socialist totalitarian government.
Another social illusion project, another social engineering project, okay? This rollout story is just that.
And you're listening to The Lunch Hour, serving up food for the mind. Today's entree is politics. What's on your mind today? The governor's budget? Stem cell research? Give us a hot spoonful of your opinion.
There you go, and now we're going to go to a interesting little thing where I'm going to call it the Putin Pig segment. The Putin Pig segment, and here you go. Welcome aboard.
It's just the same as shaving a piglet, he says, dealing with Mr. Snowden. There's too much noise, but after all the shaving, there's very little hair to be found.
Okay, so in this one, they kind of everybody botches the piglet shaving incident in the same way. That was NBC, is shaving a piglet. What do you say? They would keep it going. But this is the Putin pig shaving segment, and they're this is just twisted.
It's just the same as shaving a piglet, he says, dealing with Mr. Snowden. There's too much noise, but after all the shaving, there's very little hair to be found.
He made a comment about taking a pig to the barber shop and trying to get him to sit still while you're trying to cut the hair off the pig, and said that he does not want to get involved with those issues.
Putin said he'd prefer not to deal with the issue at all, saying it's like shearing a pig. Too much squeaking, too little wool.
A lot of wool on pigs these days, according to NBC.
Earlier this week, Russian President Vladimir Putin compared dealing with Obama's administration request for the return of NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden to shearing a squealing pig.
Okay, and that one on Fox and Huckabee, he's going to tie Obama into it somehow. Again, because that's Fox is the Obama bashing network. So you just, their viewers insist that you just bash Obama in every story. So somehow the RT is like they brought the barbershop into it, and then Huckabee brings Obama into it. Let me give you a quick run on those few the pig clips, and we'll keep it going.
It's just the same as shaving a piglet, he says, dealing with Mr. Snowden. There's too much noise, but after all the shaving, there's very little hair to be found.
He made a comment about taking a pig to the barber shop and trying to get him to sit still while you're trying to cut the hair off the pig, and said that he does not want to get involved with those issues.
Putin said he'd prefer not to deal with the issue at all, saying it's like shearing a pig. Too much squeaking, too little wool.
Earlier this week, Russian President Vladimir Putin compared dealing with Obama's administration request for the return of NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden to shearing a squealing pig.
Sheeple is what they are. They are following the Judas goat right into the shearing pins, and from there they will go to the slaughter, and they will not know that anything is wrong until they smell the blood of the sheeple in front of them.
Boxer, the pigs always tell us what to do, what to think.
We must have leaders.
But what if they're wrong?
Napoleon's never wrong.
Dear Boxer, he totally believed in Napoleon.
Right, so Napoleon's never wrong. It's almost like Obama in the Animal Farm, and he's never wrong. And Boxer, the workhorse, so to speak, who is exactly what he is in that movie or that book, The Animal Farm, which was a George Orwell book again. He and the dog, what's her name? She's like, that Boxer just believes in that pig. He believes in Napoleon. And Napoleon ends up screwing them all over and turns into a totalitarian dictator. But that's funny how the correlation works there.
But to get back to your original question, it's the question that we all gravitate to. Did you do the right thing?
Okay, now here's the Do the Right Thing segment of the show, and here we go. Let's do the right thing, man. You got to do the right thing. And doing the right thing is a meme that has proliferated throughout the whole media, and it's like, are you doing the right thing? Are you doing the right thing? Is he doing the right thing? Should they do the right thing? They should do the right thing. They're not doing the right thing. You're not doing the right thing. You got to do the right thing. To do the right thing is shut up, slave, keep your mouth shut, and do the right thing. Okay, that's how it works there.
Shut up, slave!
Boxer, the pigs always tell us what to do, what to think.
We must have leaders.
But what if they're wrong?
Napoleon's never wrong.
Dear Boxer, he totally believed in Napoleon. He just wanted to do right.
Just wanted to do right.
But to get back to your original question, it's the question that we all gravitate to. Did you do the right thing?
And I hope the right thing will happen.
What I hear is that he is in a fairly good spirit, and he knows that he has done the right thing.
Did Edward Snowden do the right thing?
We continue to hope that the Russians will do the right thing.
The longer I'm in this job, the more I believe, on the one hand, that most folks in government are actually trying to do the right thing.
Okay, and Obama's job in this world here is to sell you garbage, okay? Yeah, he's like, oh, the more I'm in this job, the more I see government does the right thing. Are you kidding me? Government does the right thing. Okay, there we go.
We've changed the passwords, but at the end of the day, we have to trust that our people are going to do the right thing.
Right, that was the guy from the NSA. He's like Keith Alexander. He's like, yeah, we changed the passwords. Like that's all he has to do to keep Snowden, the super hacker, out of his. We changed it, but we're really hoping that the people that work for us are just going to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Obama's wife, who's going to talk to you about the first day she met Obama. First date they went on.
And we wound up going to see a movie. And our first movie was Do the Right Thing by Spike Lee. It had just come out.
Oh, really? So even though Obama, that was the first movie he ever saw with Michelle. And then now, a little tangent for 1 minute, about Obama's having. Okay, so in that interview when Michelle Obama's with Suzanne Malveaux from CNN, she talks about the first time she ever met Obama. Okay, here it is.
And then he walked into my office on that first day, and he was cuter than I thought he'd be.
Okay, so she met him in her office, huh? But you know what though? And then Obama, he seems to have forgotten where he met his wife. Okay.
I don't know if anybody else will meet their future wife or husband in class like I did.
Class? I thought you met her in the office.
And then he walked into my office on that first day, and he was cuter than I thought he'd be.
Okay, so she met him in her office. He met her in class, and I'll just leave it at that.
I don't know if anybody else will meet their future wife or husband in class like I did.
Okay, and then let's just all do the right thing, though.
And we wound up going to see a movie. And our first movie was Do the Right Thing by Spike Lee. It had just come out.
All right, so he doesn't remember where he met his wife. Just for the record, I don't believe anybody could forget where they met their wife, their only wife, but or any wife. That's another show. Leave that out there. But they're doing the right thing, man.
I mean, is this some kind of incredible joke that people are so stupid they'll fall for this?
And they own all the big media news, all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear.
Right, all the news and information you get to hear gets controlled, and you seem to think that there's some sort of honesty and integrity in this thing, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Moving on now, so whenever you have scriptwriters, you always have these words being used that, and I'm a fairly well-educated rat, and I like to think that I have a rather large vocabulary. I have a very strong control over the English language, and but the media likes to use this words that I don't even know. Okay, and I use this word. I show you this connection in my North Korea show where they use this word bellicose all the time. But lo and behold, the word bellicose came up again in the Snowden case, and I'm like, wow, that's a word that, and bellicose, I looked it up, it means warlike or antagonistic, so to speak, and warlike antagonism and bellicose. So then bellicose comes up again. I'm like, wow. I wonder if that's written by the scriptwriters. And I don't wonder. Of course it is, because nobody uses that word. But in this American news media, everybody seems to know a word that I don't know and use it constantly. Everybody. Okay, here we go.
The anti-secrecy group WikiLeaks admitted helping Snowden avoid what they call the bellicose threats from the U.S. government.
WikiLeaks uses the word bellicose, yeah, but they're not a hoax or a made-up deception. No, they're just using the same, they just coincidentally use the same words from the same scripts as everybody else who's a liar does. Oh, yeah, but you know what? Go ahead and believe WikiLeaks is real, too. That'll do you a lot of good, and you should really, the outcome of that should be very good for you. So WikiLeaks uses the word bellicose.
The anti-secrecy group WikiLeaks admitted helping Snowden avoid what they call the bellicose threats from the U.S. government.
We are taking appropriate measures in response to the bellicose rhetoric and provocative actions.
Why then all this bellicose rhetoric?
Ratt's bellicose rhetoric.
Here's my big fear is he's going to paint himself into a corner where he's got to be as bellicose as he sounds, as dangerous as he sounds, and that's my big fear.
And so, as they have ratcheted up their bellicose, dangerous rhetoric.
The bellicose rhetoric is largely propaganda.
They engage in these kinds of bellicose words.
North Korea should abandon its nuclear ambitions and bellicose rhetoric.
Okay, now that one kills me, because not only is everybody in the news using bellicose rhetoric, but then the North Korean foreign minister, the South Korean foreign minister used the word bellicose. So what does that mean? Oh, we write his scripts too. Oh, isn't that interesting? You wonder, we don't think we write Putin's script and the Chinese ambassadors and ministers' scripts too? Of course it is. Can't you see it's all manipulated and being run out of one office, okay? The South Korean foreign minister says bellicose, okay?
North Korea should abandon its nuclear ambitions and bellicose rhetoric.
Oh, really? So they're using bellicose too, huh?
And propaganda is, by its nature, rough, tough, bellicose, mean, ugly.
Bellicose is propaganda, and propaganda is bellicose. Okay, that's the clip in that one, and bellicose rhetoric.
Why then all this bellicose rhetoric?
Why then all this bellicose rhetoric and bellicose is used as propaganda, isn't it?
The bellicose rhetoric is largely propaganda. And propaganda is, by its nature, rough, tough, bellicose, mean, ugly.
Despite all the saber rattling and bellicose rhetoric,
the anti-secrecy group WikiLeaks admitted helping Snowden avoid what they call the bellicose threats from the U.S. government.
Okay, bellicose. WikiLeaks using bellicose. Snowden, bellicose. Just remember that. Remember that's the hint that it's all scripted from TV watching morons.
How dumb how stupid can you be?
Americans are not disciplined enough to even understand.
Americans are not smart enough to understand. They're disciplined enough. They're not disciplined enough to understand that they're watching a bunch of garbage on TV presented to you by lying whores, okay? And Glenn Beck is telling you right to your face that,
Americans are not disciplined enough to even understand.
You're not disciplined enough to get this, you see?
I guess we can take away from this that he does have decent access to the internet.
You saw that story in the New York Times describing his final hours in Hong Kong. He was apparently so worried about, if he came back to the United States, losing his access to the Internet.
Right, so now they're threatening. That's another intimidation of whistleblowers. Are like, you know, if you blow the whistle, we'll cut off your internet, pal.
I wonder if Mr. Snowden chose China and Russia as assistants in his flight from justice because they're such powerful bastions of internet freedom.
Yeah, I missed. So Kerry's like making that smug. I wonder if he chose China and Russia because they have such good internet freedom. You're not going to come back here and have internet freedom anymore, man.
They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking.
No, they don't want that.
And that includes what I consider to be a constitutional right to privacy.
Okay, so now we're going to get into this. Now we're getting into the whole Obama salesmanship, sales pitch routine, where he's going to, and his whole. This is, and frankly, almost all the clips I'm going to use are from Obama saying it over and over and over again, because that's his job in this deception and this rollout story and this Snowden snow job is for Obama. Obama's going to be the one, because nobody believes anything else the media tells them, obviously, and why should they? I mean, because they have a bunch of morons telling you as morons, like you are morons, and they're not good actors, and they're just reading their scripts. So Americans are a little bit, but let Obama tell you. If you let Obama tell you, you'll believe it. Okay, so now Obama's going to hammer it home. Let me say that again. You're going to see it over and over. He's going to hammer it home. His rights to privacy versus security analogy or debate or concession. He's going to be like, you're going to have to, it might be inconvenient for you, or you might not like it, or it might not be. It's a trade-off. That's another word they'll use, trade-off. Privacy versus security, trade-off. And let's just, you know what? I'm just going to run these all because there's so many of them, and I'll just run them in a row, so I'll keep my mouth shut while you decide if Obama's trying to sell you the right to privacy garbage. You're gonna have to sacrifice a little bit of security for privacy. You can't be 100% secure. You can't be 100% private. You can't be you can't be. You're gonna be inconvenienced by this. You're going to be inconvenienced at the airport. You're gonna have a trade-off. It's a trade-off. There's secret programs, and there's secret, and you're gonna have to interpret. There are secret interpretations of secret programs with secret courts, and mixed in will be the guy from the NSA himself, Keith Alexander, who's going to keep, and he's going to keep saying, and you know what else Obama's going to tell you? He's going to say, Congress approved it, the courts approved it, you guys approved it, your representatives approved this stuff, so sorry, it's legal. And then the guy Keith Alexander from the NSA is like, it's legal, we followed the rules, we didn't break any rules, we didn't do anything wrong, we're legal. And let's just start rolling them from that note. It's the privacy, security, it's legal, it's not secret, it is secret, we're not doing anything, but just wait, and Obama will sell it to you. He's the salesman for this exclusively, okay? Because nobody else is even given this job to sell it to you. The other people are gonna all engage you in the debate, and then Obama he is a salesman, he's the deal closer, he's gonna close this deal for you. Because you won't believe his garbage, okay? Keep it going.
And that includes what I consider to be a constitutional right to privacy.
And the fact is that again, we have to have the balance between security and privacy.
I specifically said that one of the things that we're going to have to discuss and debate is how are we striking this balance between the need to keep the American people safe and our concerns about privacy. Because there are some trade-offs involved. But I think it's important to recognize that you can't have 100% security and also then have 100% privacy and zero inconvenience. What I can say is that in evaluating these programs, they make a difference in our capacity to anticipate and prevent possible terrorist activity. In the abstract, you can complain about Big Brother and how this is a potential, program run amok. But when you actually look at the details, then I think we've struck the right balance. So all of us make a decision that we go through a whole bunch of security at airports, which when we were growing up, that wasn't the case, right? You ran up to the gate.
Exactly.
You 5 minutes to get off the plane, you're running on.
Right.
We all made that decision. Like we all decided together that that's what we want to do, folks. I'm just like, we all, and Obama's like, we made that decision together. That's all of us, but we're all family here. And we all make decisions about we all want to go through that garbage at the airports, even though no plane even crashed on 9/11. You're gonna have to, there's gonna be a small segment about how they're gonna tie in terrorism and again in 9/11 to this thing, of course. But until people start realizing that 9/11 was a total inside job hoax and that no planes crashed on 9/11, you're never going to get this. Okay, so I'm going to have to keep pounding that into your head as we go throughout my tenure as the Max Gratt Deconstruction Zone host. But let's just keep it going. So we all made that decision to let the TSA we all decided that was a good idea, didn't we? We all did. Yeah.
Been there.
And it's been a while since I went through commercial flying, but I gather the experience is not the same
It
anymore,
is not.
Right?
It's gotten worse.
Okay, right. And so that's a trade-off we make. The same way we make a trade-off about drunk driving. We say occasionally there are going to be checkpoints. They may be intrusive. To say there's a trade-off doesn't mean somehow that we've abandoned freedom.
Right, and they're going to be intrusive, and that's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. Drunk driving, checkpoints are a trade-off. Checkpoints are a trade-off. Where's the trade-off? What do you mean trade-off? No, it's a concession. It's a concession of freedom. It's not a trade-off. We're not getting anything out. We're trading for it. Our security. Oh, yeah. We're going to keep you safer. The lying, criminal, murdering factions that run our lying puppet government are going to trade you. We're going to take away your freedom and take away everything you got, and you're going to get a false lie about a fake. We're going to keep you safe from fake terrorists. That's our trade-off. Isn't that a good deal for you? And you're like, yeah, I just want to be safe because I'm a cowering little pussy, and I'm so scared of fake terrorism and all the fake shit you tell me on TV to believe that I'm going to trade away everything for it. And then and Obama, my savior, is going to sell it to me like that, and I'm going to believe it because it's Obama. Why? I don't know why. Because he hasn't been proven to be a total liar, and he can't even remember where he met his wife supposedly. Okay, which I would argue would mean that's not his wife. Well, I'm not going to get into that on this show either, but I don't see how it could be if he doesn't remember where he met her. And she has a stupid story about going to see Spike Lee do the right thing. Let's not get off the track. Keep it going. So now we're making trade-offs here. Trade-offs.
So all of us make a decision that we go through a whole bunch of security at airports, which when we were growing up, that wasn't the case, right? You ran up to the gate.
Exactly.
5 minutes to get off the plane, you're running on.
Right. Been there.
And it's been a while since I went through commercial flying, but I gather the experience is not the same
It
anymore,
is not.
Right?
It's gotten worse.
Okay, right. And so that's a trade-off we make. The same way we make a trade-off about drunk driving. We say occasionally there are going to be checkpoints. They may be intrusive. To say there's a trade-off doesn't mean somehow that we've abandoned freedom.
Oh, no. Why would anybody think that?
Now, the programs that have been discussed over the last couple of days in the press.
We didn't abandon freedom. We just traded it away for fake security, for fake terrorists that were made up and presented to us as fake boogeymen like Osama bin Laden and Edward Snowden and the underwear bomber and the shoe bomber these are all garbage and and the shooter at Sandy Hook, and the shooter at Gabby Giffords. These are all we're trading you. You could trade your security, you trade your freedom for security against fake shit we've made up. Okay, that's because they think you're a moron, and we're gonna have Mr. Slick Willie Obama sell it to you because you seem to have a problem with not being able to tell that he's a liar, and so that's our guy. We're gonna go with him. We're gonna sell Obama. Get out there and sell this to them, buddy.
Are secret in the sense that they're classified, but now.
Again?
The programs that have been discussed over the last couple of days in the press are secret in the sense that they're classified.
He's the old double talk, the Obama double talk.
But they're not secret in the sense that when it comes to telephone calls, every member of Congress has been briefed on this program. With respect to all these programs, the relevant intelligence committees are fully briefed on these programs. These are programs that have been authorized by broad bipartisan majorities repeatedly since 2006.
Right, your bipartisan majorities of all. You guys are all. You're right. You guys are all for it. You guys are all for it. 6% of Americans are for the NSA, except the NSA is spying on them. You guys voted for this, folks.
And so I think at the outset it's important to understand that your duly elected representatives have been consistently informed on exactly what we're doing.
Very, very difficult.
Well, yeah, we told everybody what we're doing. Your duly elected representatives have been informed. Didn't you know that? You voted for this. Yeah.
I think to have a transparent debate about secret programs approved by a secret court issuing secret court orders based on secret interpretations of the law.
This program...
Very, very difficult, I think, to have a transparent debate about secret programs approved by a secret court issuing secret court orders based on secret interpretations of the law.
Yeah, that's, but Obama was like, nah, that's what we're doing here.
This program, by the way, is fully overseen not just by Congress, but by the FISA court.
A secret court.
A court specially put together to evaluate classified programs to make sure that the executive branch or government generally is not abusing them and that it's being carried out consistent with the Constitution.
Right, it's a secret court being specially put together to review classified or secret information. It's a secret court that we specially put together so we have no accountability.
And rule of law.
I'm confident that we're following the laws that our country has and doing what we do. We have a set of laws that guide how NSA acts. We follow those laws. We have tremendous oversight by all three portions of the government, the courts, Congress, and the administration. And when you look at these laws and the way they've been passed and the oversight mechanisms that we have, I am confident that we are following our laws.
Okay, so Keith Alexander, the NSA guy, he's like, yeah, I promise you, I'm confident we're following the law. You guys voted on this. You guys made the laws. We're just following our orders.
Repeatedly pointed out they cannot retrieve specific cyber information without a warrant from a special secret court.
So, in summary, what you've got...
Okay, we're not allowed to retrieve information unless a warrant from a secret court. There you go.
Repeatedly pointed out they cannot retrieve specific cyber information without a warrant from a special secret court.
So, in summary, what you've got is two programs that were originally authorized by Congress, have been repeatedly authorized by Congress, bipartisan majorities have approved on them. Congress is continually briefed on how these are conducted. There are a whole range of safeguards involved, and federal judges are overseeing the entire program throughout.
Right, so you see, again, Obama's reselling it to you hard. Every single thing, every single speech is the same thing. You voted for it. This has been approved by Congress. We put the safeguards in for you.
Through 4 years of oversight, the committee has not identified a single case in which a government official engaged in willful effort to circumvent or violate the law.
Really? Really? So Alexander, Keith Alexander again, he's like the committee, hasn't caught us ever. We haven't been caught, okay? We have not been caught circumventing the law, okay?
Sifting through this so-called metadata, but by sifting through this so-called metadata, they may identify potential leads with respect to folks who might engage in terrorism, while still preserving our capacity to act against folks who are trying to do us harm. And it's not just terrorists.
Yeah, not just terrorists, but we're sifting through metadata to find the terrorists that are fake, terrorists that are made up, like Osama bin Laden, or made up like the shoe bomber, or made up like the underwear bomber, or made up like the shooters in all these schools and everything. Like, that's all fake, okay? So we're gonna sift through that and sift through your emails, and we're just looking for terrorists, man. We're not looking for you. We're not looking to encroach on your freedom. No, and we're not abandoning your freedom. You're just trading it. You're not abandoning it. You're trading your freedom for fake security from a criminal, corrupt system that's presenting you fake terrorists. Okay, that's all. Yeah, you're gonna work. Everything's gonna be fine. Oh, don't worry, I'm Obama. I got you covered, guys.
Does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
It does not.
Not wittingly.
They're extraordinary professionals. They're dedicated to keeping the American people safe.
Is the NSA have the ability to listen to Americans' phone calls or read their emails under these two programs?
No, we do not have that authority.
Does the technology exist at the NSA to flip a switch by some analyst to listen to Americans' phone calls or read their emails?
No.
A new leader will be elected. They'll flip the switch, say that because of the crisis, because of the dangers that we face in the world, some new and unpredicted threat, we need more authority, we need more power, and there will be nothing the people can do at that point to oppose it, and it'll be turnkey tyranny.
Okay, so again, Snowden seems to be very adept and adroit at finding the same words that are used by the mainstream media in his interview, okay? He's like, we'll flip a switch, and they're like, that's funny. I'm like, that's funny. The NSA guy said you can't flip a switch, and he's like, oh, no, they'll flip the switch, all right. So using the same terminology and the same thing, no, but he doesn't have a written script written by the same people writing these other stupid scripts for everybody's the sleeping moronic sheeple's consumption. No, of course not.
Is the NSA have the ability to listen to Americans' phone calls or read their emails under these two programs?
No, we do not have that authority.
Does the technology exist at the NSA to flip a switch by some analyst to listen to Americans' phone calls or read their emails?
No.
Flip a switch.
A new leader will be elected. They'll flip the switch, say that because of the crisis, because of the dangers that we face in the world, some new and unpredicted threat, we need more authority, we need more power, and there will be nothing the people can do at that point to oppose it, and it'll be turnkey tyranny.
Right, and Snowden's not, this isn't all part of the same hoax. No, of course not. He just said flip the switch, and the NSA guy said flip the switch too. No.
The modest encroachments.
The dreaded modest it's just a modest encroachment on your freedom, okay? It's not an abandonment of it. It's just, you're just trading it. You're trading off fake security for an encroachment of your freedom, okay, moron?
On privacy that are involved in getting phone numbers or duration without a name attached and not looking at content, that on net, it was worth us doing.
Yeah, it's worth us doing because we're keeping you so much safer that way, We're just modestly encroaching on your ass, okay? That's all, just a modest encroachment, okay? And it's worth doing. It's worth it. It's worth it. And I'm Obama. I'm selling it to you. Don't ask me why it's worth it. It's just worth it because I'm Obama and I'm the salesman here to sell it to you.
And the encroachment on privacy has been strictly limited by a court-approved process to relate to these particular categories.
It's just an encroachment, and it's been, it's an encroachment, and it's by a secret court-approved process. Come on, man, and you voted for it. And it's just an encroachment on your privacy. Come on.
So I hear you saying I have no problem with what NSA has been doing.
Well, let me finish, because I don't.
He's like, well, let me finish. I said, yeah, because I don't have any problem with the NSA, with the encroaching on privacy. They traded it. They voted for it. They traded for security. Don't you remember?
We have figured it out. Go back to bed, America. Your government has figured out how it all transpired. Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again.
There you go. Just go back to bed. Don't worry. It's only you traded. Don't know. Where's my freedom? Where'd my freedom go? Oh, you don't remember? You traded it. Go back to bed.
We have not, in a single case, had a place where a government official engaged in willful effort to circumvent or violate the law.
There's the NSA guy reading from a legalese script. Okay, he's like, we have not circumvented or violated the law. I promise you, and that's according. I'm reading it right from what my lawyer told me to read.
We have not, in a single case, had a place where a government official engaged in willful effort to circumvent or violate the law.
Right, and I had a little trouble with circumvent, but I read the script and we didn't do anything. No, we didn't violate the law. Are you kidding me? And you know what? You know why? Because I said it on TV. I said that I denied any violation of the law. And my lawyer told me to read that part of the script.
Because even if you're not doing anything wrong, you're being watched and recorded, and the storage capability of these systems increases every year consistently by orders of magnitude, to where it's getting to the point you don't have to have done anything wrong. You simply have to eventually fall under suspicion from somebody, even by a wrong call, and then they can use the system to go back in time and scrutinize every decision you've ever made, every friend you've ever discussed something with, and attack you on that basis to sort of derive suspicion from an innocent life and paint anyone in the context of a wrongdoer.
And derive suspicion, derive suspicion. Again, a very cleverly written script. That's I call that the scare tactic. Part of Snowden's script too. He's like, yeah, you don't have to do anything wrong, and they're gonna use it against you eventually. And Obama's like, no, that's just a minor encroachment of your privacy. You traded that for security, and then Snowden assists that whole package with by scaring you he's doing the scare tactic, and he's the one he's going to say that he's the one who didn't deliver the intimidation of the public in his little script, and now here's his dad.
Ed had said he may release more information. What should he do?
Don't. That concerns me.
Okay, don't even release any more information because what they want to do is to lend credibility to the information that he's reading off the stupid script. So his dad's like, no, don't tell him. You're telling him too much, man. And I'm concerned because I'm doing the right thing. I'm keeping my mouth shut. Okay. I'm doing what De Niro told me to do in Goodfellas, which is never rat on your friends and keep your mouth shut. So I'm doing the right thing, and Snowden don't. And so his dad is gonna lend, and who's dad who looks absolutely nothing like him and couldn't possibly be a genetic participant in Edward Snowden, but that's all led for you. Yeah, but what do you care? It's on TV, so you'll believe it anyway. So yeah, so don't. So he's like, no, don't release any more information.
I came in with a healthy skepticism about these programs. My team evaluated them. We scrubbed them thoroughly. We actually expanded some of the oversight.
Okay, so Obama says I came in, we scrubbed them, and I evaluated, and then we expanded some of the. He means they expanded the oversight, meaning he expanded his the encroachment of your privacy.
Increased some of the safeguards.
And increased the safeguards, meaning increased more of the tyranny and the spying.
But my assessment, and my team's assessment was that they help us prevent terrorist attacks.
Yeah, but you know what? We decided at the end, you know what? We helped us prevent fake terrorist attack from the terrorists that we made up. So we're telling you that, and you just have to buy it because I'm Obama and I'm selling it to you like that.
They have everything. They have absolutely everything. They have all of the levers. They can follow you in real time. They have been tracking your purchases and your credit card activity. They've been capturing all of your phone conversations and all of the phone numbers that you reach out. They have your whole life.
They got your whole life, man. Glenn Beck's there to scare you, too, and to make you like, ooh, you know, yeah, they got everything, man. They got you, okay? They got you. They have everything. Obama has everything on you, and he's going to screw you in. And Glenn Beck will make it like, yeah, it's Obama's going to screw you over. No, Obama's the salesman and the mouthpiece for the power structure that wants you to enslave your stupid ass and put you into a Stalinist gulag type model, but and Obama is not the guy who calls the shots in these things. And Glenn Beck's like, no, they got everything on you, man. You're and so then people are gonna rack their brains like, oh no, I did something 10 years ago that might have been, I might not paid enough taxes or something like that. And like, oh, then you're gonna get in trouble for it, man. Just shut up and take your paycheck and get with the program.
When you look at, on balance, over 50 cases that we've helped disrupt terrorist plots and contributed information to those, 0 times have we come up with a place where we have failed the public's confidence or Congress' confidence in these laws. I think that's pretty good.
So Keith Alexander again, the NSA guy, he's like, we've foiled 50 different terror attacks, and not one time did anybody ever say anything that we did anything illegal? Not once. I mean, of course, because it's secret. Second of all, because there are no terrorist attacks to foil anyway. And he goes, I think that's pretty good, man. I think we did a pretty good job on that. Kind of like, and then it reminded me of a clip from Kingpin.
You guys got to forgive me. You see, falling for money, it's my only vice.
Here's your drink.
Oh, thanks, sugar. Okay, 2 vices.
That's still very good.
All right, so in Kingpin, the priest says, bowling for money is my only vice, and then he takes it. Then the waitress comes and gives him a glass of liquor, and he smacks her on the ass and says, "Thanks, sugar." Okay, so that would be 3 vices because drinking, so gambling's a vice, drinking's a vice, and womanizing's a vice, I guess. So he says, I only have 2 vices, and then he goes, all right, he says, I only have 1. Then he says, oh no, I have 2, and it's really 3. He just exhibited 3 vices, and then Bill Murray says, well, that's still pretty good. Right, and same thing, just like this guy Alexander. He's like, well, you know, we lied to you about fake terrorism, and the Congress didn't say anything, nobody else said anything, so I think that's pretty good. And
when you look at, on balance, over 50 cases that we've helped disrupt terrorist plots and contributed information to those, 0 times have we come up with a place where we have failed the public's confidence or Congress' confidence in these laws. I think that's pretty good.
You guys got to forgive me. You see, falling for money, it's my only vice.
Here's your drink.
Oh, thanks, sugar. Okay, 2 vices.
That's still very good.
That's still very good, even though it's 3. Okay, and then keep it going.
Just let me remind you, by calling me, you will be using your telephone. And you say anything like that on your telephone, and the NSA is listening to you, so they will be able to crunch those numbers and find out exactly who's in your circle of friends, and they will pick you and all of your friends up.
There you go, Glenn Beck, fear-mongering you again, and
we have to make decisions about how much classified information and how much covert activity we are willing to tolerate as a society.
Obama's selling. He's like, yeah, we have to make decisions about how much covert operations, secretive spying we can tolerate as a society. And again, I told you about Frederick Douglass. Like, well, you're going to tolerate about as much. You're going to take as much as you're going to get as much as we. That's what Frederick Douglass says. You're going to get. Obama's telling you you're going to get about as much spying as you can take. Okay, we're going to decide how much we're just going to have to decide how much we can tolerate. Now, one of the reasons that they came out with this stupid story is because if they're doing secret spying on you and you don't know about it, then it's not going to affect you. Okay, you're not going to care about something you don't know about. Okay, so what they need to do is tell you, okay, what they're going to need to tell you that, okay, you're being spied on, so then you could be scared about it. Okay, that's because all these secret agencies, they're not they're supposedly operating in secret, so you're not going to be scared of something that's operating in secret. So now we have to have a leak, and then we have to make it so you'll know about it. Okay, so you'll know, so you can be scared of it, so we can manipulate you accordingly. And I got a clip from Dr. Strangelove, which is along those lines.
Is that the whole point of the doomsday machine is lost. If you keep it a secret, why didn't you tell the world, eh?
Right, he said the whole point is lost if you keep it a secret. He said you have to go tell everybody that you're doing it. That's how you create a deterrence. Okay, so if you keep it a secret, and he's talking about the doomsday machine in Dr. Strangelove, but he said if you keep it a secret, the whole point is lost. Okay, that's what this whole stupid leak thing is about. It's about you can't keep it a secret because then the point of the deterrence and of the intimidation is lost. You get it?
Is that the whole point of the doomsday machine is lost. If you keep it a secret, why didn't you tell the world, eh?
If you're a U.S. person, then NSA is not listening to your phone calls, and it's not targeting your emails unless it's getting an individualized court order. That's the existing rule.
That's the existing rule for a U.S. person. He didn't say citizen, folks. He said person. Person matters, and I'm going to show you. And then I found a clip where they're going to make it clear what's a person. Obama's like, if you're a U.S. person, okay.
If you're a U.S. person.
If you're a U.S. person. Here's the NSA guy, Alexander.
Note that we treat all phones inside the U.S. as U.S. persons.
Ooh, so all phones are treated as U.S. persons, okay? And if you're a U.S. person, that means if there's a phone in the U.S., we're going to tap it, according to Obama.
The public has an assurance that there are checks and balances in place, that they have enough information about how we operate that they know that their phone calls aren't being listened into, their text messages aren't being monitored, their emails are not being read by some big brother somewhere. They've got to feel that confidence.
Right. They have an assurance. In other words, I told them, trust me. I'm telling you, trust me. Obama's like, trust me. You have to feel that confidence that you can be assured that you can trust me. All right? You have to have that assurance, man. You have to have that confidence.
The public has an assurance that there are checks and balances in place, that they have enough information about how we operate that they know that their phone calls aren't being listened into, their text messages aren't being monitored, their emails are not being read by some big brother somewhere. They've got to feel that confidence.
Yeah, feel that confidence, feel that assurance, okay?
I was a U.S. intern I was a legal intern at the U.S. mission to the United Nations, and I had a top security clearance.
Okay, so this woman who was friends supposedly with Snowden, she said she was an intern, and she was an intern with a top security clearance. An intern, okay, for working for the government. She's an intern, okay, meaning that's about as low on the totem pole as you get. But she has a top security clearance. Again, that's just to show you that, just to give you a question of what the hell's going on? What do you mean she's an intern? She has top security clearance.
I've been a systems engineer, systems administrator, senior advisor for the Central Intelligence Agencies.
Okay, he's a senior advisor for the CIA, and that was when he was like 22 years old or something like that. Okay, senior advisor at the CIA, didn't go to high school apparently, didn't graduate high school apparently, and you know, and I asked a friend of mine who's a really very knowledgeable IT guy, and he's like, well, you know, there are some of those people. I said, you really think that the CIA is hiring people out of didn't graduate even high school, and you know, no matter how, and he said, well, there are people who are brilliant with IT. I'm like, yeah, you know, I'd like to believe that too, but he's a senior advisor at the CIA, and because he's only 29 now, and he was at the NSA after the CIA, so I think that they implied that he was at the CIA since he's like 22 years old or something like that, or 23, something like that. So, but he's a senior advisor. So he not only was he there, but out of not even having he went from not graduating high school to a senior advisor at the CIA in his early 20s. And then the other girl is like, she was an intern and she had top security clearance. They're trying to give you this attitude, like this idea that there's like a very, you know, that there's very shaky ground on what's going on over there. And people at 22 years old could be a senior advisor at the CIA, if you want to believe that.
But there's a very big difference between overreach and oppression, and that difference may be, I'm suggesting, it may be a difference of the maturity of the frame with which you look at things.
Okay, so the maturity of the frame, your maturity of the frame in which you look at things is going to accept tyranny and oppression, whereas if you're young and new and never went to graduate high school, then you're going to be a senior advisor for the CIA. But you need to be more mature. When you're more mature, that's when you have to be a stupid slave and embrace tyranny.
I think it's healthy for our democracy. I think it's a sign of maturity.
Sign of maturity, man. It's a sign of maturity to accept tyranny. Okay? And when you're young, you're a CIA senior advisor. When you're old, you accept tyranny because you're mature.
Officials assume that Snowden has left encoded files with allies. So if he is arrested, his secrets will still be published.
Oh yes, so you know he's already encoded all the information. So you know if he's arrested or killed, it'll still be out there.
Kind of anything about Israel. Ron Paul, for example, wants to end all aid to Israel. Was that something that Ed Snowden thought about very much?
Okay, so now this guy O'Donnell is shamelessly linking Snowden to anti-Israel because he's like, well, Ron Paul said he doesn't want to fund Israel, and Snowden says he likes Ron Paul. So now where have we got that information from now? Again, this is all made up, and so then Snowden's like, so then he's going to shamelessly link Snowden to anti-Israel just to get the stupid northeastern Jew crowd who thinks, and needless to say, as you know, I am a Jew, but they play our ignorant, our not distracted, non-stupid group by he's anti-Israel. So now so then you'll be like, well, then that might make him a traitor, not a hero, in my view. Again, just to get you down with the tyranny. That's what this is for. So yes, so he's linked to anti-Israel, and because Ron Paul is.
As we now know, Ed Snowden contributed to Ron Paul's campaign, and
as we now know,
presumably, if he voted, possibly voted for him. So let's.
If he voted, presumably, if. Yeah, again, this is not journalism. This is made up garbage to try to manipulate your thoughts. So now he's like, well, he likes Ron Paul, and Ron Paul said that Ron Paul is a liar and a deceiver too. And he's like, well, you know, Ron Paul, Osama bin Laden, and Al Qaeda, he calls them.
Let's listen to what he said about Osama bin Laden and Al Qaeda, which was the specific interests, obviously, of Ed Snowden's.
Osama bin Laden and Al Qaeda have been explicit. They have been explicit, and they wrote and said that we attacked America because you had bases on our Holy Land in Saudi Arabia. You do not give Palestinians a fair treatment.
All right, so now, so Snowden must be assisting terrorists, and that's why he has to be, he's a traitor, not a hero, and blah, 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 and Ron Paul and this and that, and Ron Paul's anti-Israel, and again, just like a twisted linkage from a fake guy, from a link to from one fake guy to another fake guy with, two lying whores like O'Donnell and Ron Paul, selling it to you in a twist, and then O'Donnell will link them together. This is all for absolute morons. But if you're not following it, then you're just going to gobble it all down whole and say, "Oh, you're right. Snowden must be a traitor. I have to get more down with NSA spying and tyranny because that's being a good American and that's doing the right thing."
And when you think about it, defending the nation, let's look back at 9/11 and what happened. The intel community failed to connect the dots in 9/11.
Okay, that's Keith Alexander he's going to say that the intel community failed to connect the dots, and so we need to be more surveillance because it's going to protect us better from 9/11, which is something that was, again, a terror attack that was perpetrated by our own factions within running our own government puppet master, manipulate our government puppet master factions within our own government, killed Americans with a 9/11 horrible terror attack that was orchestrated by the global government cabal themselves, okay, to bring us all into this. And now they're going to tell you that, now the NSA guy is going to tell you that, that's why we have to get Snowden also, because he's going to help other terrorists to do other fake terror attacks, even though, and I'm not saying you're like, oh, you don't think 9/11 happened? Of course, you know what I think, okay? I have no doubt in my mind that 9/11 wasn't perpetrated by Arab terrorists in airplanes at all, okay, and I have no doubt in my mind that a tank of gas disintegrated 4.4 million square foot or 8.8 million square feet of office space into dust in 11 seconds, okay, or 22 seconds because 11 seconds each. That would be 40,000 square feet per tenth of a second. 200 times 200 is a building, 200 times 200 is a floor. In the World Trade Towers, 110 floors, came down in 11 seconds. That's 10 stories per second. That's 440,000 square feet per second. That makes it 40,000 square feet in a tenth of a second was disintegrated into dust by a tank of gas. And you believe that, you're absolutely insane, okay? But so now they're going to try to link that the Snowden thing to 9/11, which is, again, a very serious deception and stuff that you should take heed to and pay attention to.
And when you think about it, defending the nation, let's look back at 9/11 and what happened. The intel community failed to connect the dots in 9/11.
Yeah, they failed. Okay,
Robert
that
Mueller,
means.
director of the FBI, for example, he said the massive surveillance program that the U.S. has now could have prevented 9/11.
Okay, see, if we had more surveillance like we do now, we could have prevented 9/11. No, we couldn't have, because 9/11 was nothing to do with a mass not knowing about surveillance. Okay, it was not about, because it wasn't done by a fake Arab Muslim terrorist with airplanes. No, none of that's true. None of it. Okay, gasoline did not disintegrate 8.8 million square or 4.4 million square feet of office building into dust in 11 seconds. No. Okay, that's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, what that was, that's whole nother vast area that I haven't even figured out quite myself yet, although I have my theories on it. But now they're going to try to link, like, if we don't have more surveillance, we're not going to be able to save you from, secure you from a fake terror or a staged terror attack like 9/11.
What if what we're talking about is the listening on conversations that we've had could have prevented the Boston bombing?
Oh, now listening. Yeah, what if listening to our conversation could have prevented the Boston bombing? Oh, so you see how we're keeping you safe, you idiots?
Diplomacy only goes so far. Don't forget, Russia did help us with the Boston bombing situation. They did help us there. We do have a complicated, I guess if this were Facebook, we'd say it's complicated. It's a complicated relationship.
Facebook would say it's complicated. You see, this is all for idiots, okay? And we're like, yeah, the Boston bombing, it's complicated, and the Russians helped us with the Boston bombing, and now they're not helping us with the Snowden thing, and we're tying it all together because you guys are too stupid to know what the hell's going on, and we're just throwing all this garbage at you with scripted liars in the whore media.
Yeah, the Russians helped us with the Boston bombing well ahead of the Boston bombing, and Barack Obama's lack of leadership, his administration's fecklessness and haplessness.
Okay, and then Fox is going to be like, okay, we got to bash Obama with the Boston bombing now, and bash Obama with Snowden, and then can link Snowden into Obama and the Boston bombing.
Allowed the bombing to go ahead, even though the Russians were waving red flags in our faces.
Wait a minute. That would be like me saying that... Wait a second, that's not fair. That would be like me saying that George W. Bush allowed 9/11 to happen.
Okay, and then they're like, oh yeah, that's like me saying that Bush allowed 9/11 to happen. Now you see, now we're on a totally different tangent of blaming Snowden for 9/11 and the Boston bombing. Okay, and we're gonna have more Boston bombings if people keep leaking information. Anyway, we're coming down the backstretch of this show, folks, and let me just reel it all out, but this is getting me irritated anyway, but let's keep it going.
And when the United States appears weak, the United States is going to get hit. And this is about deliberately going out of their way, the Chinese, the Russians, the Ecuadorians, to insult us.
I'm curious.
When they believe that they're free to take shots at us.
We are gonna get hit if we allow people to leak information and be whistleblowers. We're gonna get hit. And because everybody thinks we're weak now, even though the 9/11 was and the Boston bombing was a fake bombing, and 9/11 was a murder perpetrated by factions within our own government. But yep, you guys want to keep believing this garbage, fine, but this is not going in the right direction, I promise you.
Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park. Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We're in the boredom-killing business.
There you go. And okay, so at the end of this, we're coming down the backstretch of the show. I'm gonna there's a big section of how we're getting abused. We're being led to believe we're weak, and we're getting abused by China and Russia and Ecuador, and how that's going to get us. We're going to get hit again by more terrorists. That's why we need more security. We need to trade off our privacy and freedom for security, because we're going to be looked at as weak, and China and Russia and everybody else is going to get us. And okay, again, now people are tired of all these wars and everything like that. So we have to restoke that American we have to stick together, and we're going, and we have to beat China, and China's our rival and our enemy, and so is Russia, and we have to keep stoking that, because we have to keep the American people behind all this murdering war garbage and tyranny. So that's what this is all about. And let me gonna bring down the backstretch of this show. It's going to talk about the I'm going to just play these all in a row. It's all about the you're going to see, like, everybody's like, oh, it's China, it's Ecuador, they're calling us, we're wussies, we're bullies, we're weenies, we're not bullies anymore. Keep it going. Here we go.
And specifically, there are going to be people who will speculate that what you really intend to do is to defect to the country that many see as the number one rival of the United States, which is China, and that what you're really doing is essentially seeking to aid an enemy of the United States with which you intend to seek asylum. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, that's Glenn Greenwald, who was interviewing Snowden, and again, it's cleverly, and it just happens to dovetail right into the talking points of all the other mainstream media outlets, just perfectly like that. Like, no, that wasn't part of the script, too. Nah.
Sure.
China's now looking at us like, we were hitting them hard on what they were doing in terms of what they were taking from us, and now they are really going at it. They're saying we're far worse than they ever were, and he's really hurt us in terms of relationship, and it really shows how weak our country's been and has become.
It's from some learned think tank. I don't remember who it was. They said, well, let me tell you something.
We got Trump, we got Limbaugh now, and Limbaugh's like some learned think tank. He doesn't remember who it is now because he's not even going to give any reference of his source at all. Keep going.
The reason why all this happened, the Chinese are behind this. The Chinese are behind Snowden. The Chinese are tired of Obama accusing them of hacking here and hacking there. So the Chinese released all this to show the world it's not just them hacking, it's the U.S. hacking everybody. I actually saw that explanation for what this is all about. Is that Chi-Coms have their feelings hurt. That Obama's accusing them of hacking everybody, and so the Chi-Coms, all right, well, let's just show that the U.S. is doing it as well.
The Chi-Coms, Limbaugh.
Oh.
Overnight, Snowden slipping out of Hong Kong, ABC News has learned, with several laptops full of secret information.
Hong Kong, whether under the influence of Beijing or not, should have made every effort to return him to the United States.
Now U.S. officials say China undoubtedly downloaded Snowden's laptops before letting him go.
All right, one quick note on laptops is that you know, for a guy who's supposedly some IT genius, okay, why does he need to carry 4 laptops around? Why can't he just put it all on a hard drive or even a memory stick or something like that? But which would hold infinitely more memory than his 4 laptops will. Because you know why? Because Americans are stupid and they have to dumb it down for stupid Americans. Okay, if the guy was such a, why didn't he upload it to his some sort of cloud that he has or something like that, or so rather than carrying around laptops all over the place. But that's for the stupid American public to gobble down because they can't understand how even memory and computers works.
U.S. officials are now tracing Snowden's computer trail after he reportedly told a Chinese newspaper he took the NSA contractor job last April for the express purpose of exposing secret programs.
He also says that you have emergency authority to act on your own in circumstances, including anticipatory action against imminent threats. So that's a preemptive capability, preemptive authority for you. Can you help explain under what kind of circumstances you would be authorized on your own to launch an offensive act of cyber warfare?
So, to be clear, what I can do on my own right now is within our networks to launch offensive measures to stop somebody from getting into the network.
Okay, so the guy from the NSA is saying that he's allowed to unilaterally launch attacks in cyberspace against, to preemptively strike against, preemptive strike.
Mr. Marks, by mandate of the District of Columbia Pre-Crime Division, I'm placing you under arrest for the future murder of Sarah Marks and Donald Dubinos. Take place today, April 22nd, at 0800 hours, 4 minutes. No, I didn't do anything.
You didn't do anything, but you're gonna.
Senior intelligence. Right, that's a pre-crime. The Tom Cruise movie with he's a pre-crime guy from the District of Columbia, and he arrests somebody for pre-crime. And again, just like the Stephanopoulos interview where the guy from the NSA says, "Well, we're going to preemptively attack unilaterally without even any government or an attack without any congressional approval or anything or anybody." He doesn't even need from anybody. He said he can do it himself unilaterally. So then we're going to engage in pre-crime. So we have lower level people now engaging in pre-crime unilateral attacks.
This official told us today he's already seeing indications that terrorist groups are changing the way they communicate because of Snowden's leaks. Today, Secretary of State John Kerry was blunt. He said people may die because of these leaks. And Diane, there's real worry about how much damage Snowden can still do. He has access to the U.S. playbook for how we use technology in covert surveillance, at risk the effectiveness of billions of dollars worth of supercomputers and spying resources.
This was a deliberate choice by the government to release a fugitive despite a valid arrest warrant, and that decision unquestionably has a negative impact on the U.S.-China relationship.
He's turned the bully pulpit into the wussy pulpit, and everybody knows it around the world.
What's it like in Ecuador? They have Starbucks down there. I mean, who wants to live the rest of their life in keto? I'm just asking.
Well, first off, this news that Snowden is apparently...
Yeah, so Matthews is dissing Ecuador just offhand. He's offhand, like, who wants to live in Ecuador? I'm like, whatever. That just some more garbage that comes from idiots like Matthews in the media.
On his way to Moscow, perhaps to Venezuela.
Our nation has...
ABC's like, maybe you go to Venezuela too. Like, that's another one of our arch axis of evil people that's made up again. Keep it going.
Has been significantly impacted with intellectual property, the theft of intellectual property by China and others. That is the most significant transfer of wealth in history.
Well, I think.
Okay, so the theft of intellectual property is the most significant transfer of wealth in history, not the banker bailout. No, you see, that's even more like to confuse people. Like blame it on the Chinese, blame everything. You're broke now because of the Chinese, not because the bankers robbed all your money in a fake in a TARP bailout and extended into like a $25 to $100 trillion bailout with the quantitative easing garbage from Bernanke. No. It was because the Chinese have stolen our intellectual property.
This is exhibit A of how far we've fallen as a nation in the eyes of the world. Our friends are unsure about us, and our enemies no longer fear us, and seems that nobody respects us.
Right. So our enemies no longer fear us. That's warmonger and warhawk Lindsey Graham next, and he was a psychopath and a absolute dimwit idiot who why he could even have any credibility on television or at all is because you believe every garbage they tell you on television and nothing else.
This is the kind of Cold War, old Soviet speak kind of behavior that has characterized Colonel Putin, colonel in the KGB, for a long time.
Well, we're certainly weenies.
Okay, that's McCain, Colonel Putining us again, trying to establish some sort of false animosity between Russians, and even though Putin and McCain and Lindsey Graham and all these other idiots are all working on the same team together.
With respect to the Chinese, they have defied our clear wishes. They've indeed protected Snowden in getting out of Hong Kong, and they have suffered no consequences. And the Russians must be judging that they're not going to suffer any consequences either. So it's no wonder that they're playing games with us.
This is an opportunity to check American power, to demonstrate that America's power globally is on the wane, and that the power of countries like China and Russia, especially when they find common cause on an issue like the destiny of Edward Snowden, has the ability to trip American presidents up regardless of party or a philosophical outlook.
The Chinese and the Russians, Vladimir Putin, don't respect Barack Obama. They don't fear Barack Obama or the United States. Barack Obama has said he wanted to fundamentally transform the United States. Nobody ever asked him into what.
Happiness, we're gonna spread freedom. Obama's gonna change it. Obama's gonna lead 'em. We're gonna change it and rearrange it. We're gonna change the world.
The great Obama song. We're gonna be China. Obama wants to transform us, to change it, rearrange it. Just listen to Fox News and yeah. So here we go.
Barack Obama is not the leader of the free world.
He's not the leader of the free world. Okay, so that's the end of the show, folks. And again, it was a little bit longer than the 2-hour length that I was trying to keep it down to. So there's all kinds of agendas being played here, and it's all about a rollout story that is made strictly to intimidate, to manipulate the American thought process. Obama and the U.S. are weak globally, and we get no respect, and that's to stoke your anger towards, like, we have to, because we want to be back to that America kicks ass mode, we're kicking ass. That's to get you back into the war realm, because you're probably been tired out of that, and that's a new way to stoke that anger and that hatred towards everybody else, so we can keep the war things going. Okay, we also want to intimidate whistleblowers. That's another reason for this whole hoax and manipulation. We want to lend credibility to the media and to WikiLeaks by saying, well, look how well they're reporting on this, and they're really, they really are on top of this, and that's why we roll out the story on every channel, and they have so much information about it, even though it's all written on the same scripts. We want to stoke more conflict and more animosity and hatred towards China and Russia and Ecuador, which is across the globe, meaning all the continents of the world. We want to be we're picking fights with everybody, and even though all those government people that you'll see leading those countries and in front of those countries are all part of the same global government cabal that's already in place, and you seem to think that, oh no, Putin is this and the Chinese guys are that, they're mad at us. No, they're all in with us. Okay, now we also want to scare Americans into telling them that they're being spied on, and they have to worry about, they're gonna, everything you've ever said for the last 20 years is going to be recorded. So, if you just better not do anything wrong, stay in line, do the right thing, and it'll be better for you. Also, just take your paycheck, shut up. Don't worry about whistleblowing. Don't worry about that you're doing evil. Just stay in line, do the right thing, and take your money, and everything will be okay. And then of course, we're gonna have Obama sell it all to us. And that's but we want to get Americans all wound up into we got to get them back into we got to hate this person, blame things of this, blame China for stealing for our wealth transfer. And that's the end of the show. It's the Obama. It was the thanks for coming aboard the Max Ratt Deconstruction Zone. I'm Max Ratt. On July 1st, here's another show. This is another show for you. This one will be called the NSA whistleblower rollout story, the Snowden snow job. And thanks for coming aboard. Thanks for listening to the show. America. Fuck yeah! It's the hope for tomorrow.
The consequent willingness of the American people to allow the steps of appeasement by our government, which amount to a piecemeal surrender of the rest of the free world and of the United States itself.
Let them come back, you tell Mother.
And on that note, I want to thank you again for coming aboard the Max Ratt Deconstruction Zone. I'm Max Ratt, and I'm over and out.
Let them come back, you tell Mother I love her.
Your mother's dead, Llewellyn.
Well, then I'll tell her myself.